Hello. Hey guys. How's everything going? I'm so sorry, but I'm going to do my eyeliner while we're talking because you guys know I'm insane. So, all right. So, there has been an anthology release or let's see, hang on real quick. Add as a moderator. Okay. There we go. So sorry, I have Angel moderating because if you guys were in the last one, it's unlisted now. If you guys were in the last live, it got a little uncomfortable for me. And it got a little off the rails and I didn't really know what to do. So we're having a moderator going forward. If as long as we can do. So we've got a anthology coming up, and I think we kind of all guessed this because I don't know when it was announced. I think it was sometime like maybe May, early summer, that there was a re-release for the book. So we kind of all maybe, or we all kind of maybe thought that like maybe this is going to happen. We'll talk about Giuliano later. So, because we're talking about anthology right now. So I think we kind of all thought that was going to happen. And I have been hopeful. I was hopeful last year because I was thinking, hey, everybody. So we've got some good amount of people, because I was thinking like, well, it's 2025. We got a couple of re-releases and in recent years, on the anniversaries. So I was like, please God, I don't ask for much, which is not true. But I was like, please God, I don't ask for much. Please just give me an anthology re-release. And you guys know, especially if you're anybody who, I am not procrastinating. I'm not procrastinating Live Aid. Angel knows that we had a 3-hour talk last night for the video. So anyway, and it was good. It was a good, productive discussion. But like, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. With peace and love, we are not procrastinating. I wasn't going to do this today. Well, I mean, I was going to work on Live Aid, but then the Beatles was like, well, let's go fuck some shit up, So I think we all kind of expected that this was going to happen. And I was hoping last year, because I was thinking, well, it's an anniversary, right? And I was just hoping. So there is speculation from the leakers that there will be one, even ignore, yes, I did do a clickbait thumbnail. Sue me. There will be no Carnival of Light. So Martin, you and I are going to fight, bud, because Martin doesn't like Now and Then, but likes Real Love and Free as a Bird. And that's fine, but Now and Then is good and it's fun. And let's allow us to have some fun. So no, brass neck, we don't know that for sure, but the leakers are saying that there will not be Carnival of Light, which I am totally fine with. Like, in Mean Girls, where it's like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is not going to happen. Okay, pause. Slasher mini films. By the way, love your name. Now and Then song good. Now and Then video bad. Now and Then video bad, like leaning into the cheese. I like it because it's so camp. It is so camp. I love it. I love it. Lars, we must be serious. You know what, Martin, we're done. Okay. We're not doing this. Like, if you want to know my feelings about Now and Then, you can watch my video. And if you don't like Now and Then it's not my fault that you're wrong. It's my second most viewed video, which is great because it's like one of my most notoriously sobby videos. So I'm like, well, let's just like put my legacy in there. Like, let's just like solidify the fact that I am a crybaby, and I'm fine with that. Okay, it was a great video. Thank you so much. Somebody go, Chris McGovern. Oh, Chris McGovern from the Gen X Muse podcast on Spotify. You guys should go follow Chris. And also Angel, as we go along with Angel, is my moderator today and also my collaborator on the Live Aid video. You guys should go sub. It is free for both of those things. Anyway, I really like, but I have to say what was I going to say? Oh my God. Okay. As far as like re-releases and music videos, I'm only sleeping. Kills me always. So as far as, now I do think Real Love, and I think Real Love does feel more like a Beatles song. I think that it would have been better, like now, if it came out now, just with generally like the malware. So I'm hoping that we're getting some Peter Jackson vibes, remixes. And if you know me on any sort of personal level, you know that I'm not always a huge fan on original lyrics, Sexy Sadie. That's not going to happen. It was never recorded. But it would be hilarious though. I usually am not a huge fan of the remixes, and I used to be. Club tapes on there. Yeah. Star Club tapes. I wonder if they could get that. Who knows a lot about Star Club? Like if you know about Star Club, but L-Take. No, I know. I don't always like the remixes. I used to like them more, but I've been listening more. But you guys know that I'm in a mono phase right now. So I would not be taking me seriously at this point in time. And you guys should generally, like as a rule, should we be taking me seriously? Don't answer that. But don't take me seriously, because it's just what I like, because I'm going through this phase where I'm listening to things with in-ear monitors and lossless audio. So everything, I want to hear everything. So I like, it's just a phase, Dad. As long as I'm not focusing exclusively on those 09 stereo mixes. I'm talking specifically about like our recent re-releases. 27-minute Helter Skelter, maybe. I would die for that. Okay, one version of the Star Club tapes were all covers, and another version included some Lennon-McCartney originals. Unspectored, unpitch corrected, let it be naked, thank you please. I'm so down with that. I want more Beatles live. We hardly ever got any Beatles live stuff. Should AI be used to improve the current BBC recordings? Okay, so let's talk about it. Mal, if we're talking specifically, can you guys hear me okay? Because my mic is over here because I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I think. So let's talk about it. If we're talking about Peter Jackson's Mal, AI is used the same way that okay, great. AI is used the same way that, like for the last 10 years, predictive text has been used. So when you're using an email and you're like, great, can I call you? And it goes at 4 p.m. tomorrow or whatever. Like that is kind of the AI. It is used to clean up. It is used to search and clean up. It has not added anything. Now, as far as film people, yes, here we go. Shaden, Mal is good. Generative AI is bad. Generative AI is bad. And if you use ChatGPT as Google or as a search engine, don't do that. Stop doing that. You guys can use Google. It's in any other search engine. DuckDuckGo is getting better than Google at this point, which is crazy. Because ChatGPT is, for one, inaccurate. It can absolutely be inaccurate. And for two, awful for the environment. Just awful for the environment. Angel, you and I having that chat yesterday is fucking my voice. I've got cough drops. Okay. But so We Can Work It Out, because John recorded over the tape. I would love a demo of We Can Work It Out. I love that song. Shocking, Lars loves a Beatles song. Let's see. I think it's going to be a greatest of the 3 original anthology albums, plus a few bonus songs and now and then. So, what we've heard is that there's no Carnival of Light, that, like, the speculation is, one moment, please. Okay. The speculation is generally that there will be some more interviews, some in cleaned up stuff. Let's see. They're not throwing in, like, the anthology releases now are considered canonical. So the track lists will be consistent with the canonical releases. This is the speculation. I don't know as far as releases if it will be released on vinyl or anything like that. Though I do expect there will be a record release. If we're just looking at the pattern of how things... One thing I do hope is that the 4th one, that the box art isn't shitty. Dylan, this is just speculation. I can't tell you where I'm hearing it. From some friends, I can't tell you where I'm hearing it. So the official information will be coming out, I believe, on Friday, and we'll be doing another one. So we're just chatting because we're like I said in the title of this is Speculation Nation. This is like very anti-Lars. Like, this is no sources. I can't tell you. Like, so I'm sorry. Regular unhinged Lars. Honestly, the audio interview clips were the most disappointing thing about the original anthology release. Sigh. John's audio interview clips suck. And so I'm really hoping for a documentary re-release. I would be thrilled with a documentary re-release with upgraded just sound because of the audio interviews. The documentary soundtrack will be in 5.1. I assume so. Vinyl will be released, hands down. Lots of money to be made, like George's Let It Roll. I agree that it will be released. I think it will be released. I can't imagine that they would be releasing it on any other physical media, unless if they're having fun with let's see here. Unless they're, well, I mean, see, okay, right now my partner is like going through a CD phase, like a hardcore CD phase. So I'm like, well, maybe. And also, one of my friends has a kid that's like a senior in high school, and apparently CDs are back in. And then I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not sure. Like, because this is a little more, I don't know if the Beatles would be releasing a like a cassette. Are we sure we're not sure of anything, Michael? We're not sure of anything. Please remember that this is all speculation. This is all speculation. One moment, please. I think this marker sucks. I should probably stop doing lives when I'm supposed to take my birth control. It's around here somewhere. CDs were never out. Okay, interesting. See, like, they're just... okay, so CDs were never out. Well, let's not go. Stop thinking. Let's all freak out and take everything as truth. I would love, I'm assuming if we get a streaming release, it would be Disney Plus. Lars, do you think in Anthology 4 we'll finally find out how Paul wrote Let It Be? I'm assuming Paul wrote Let It Be the same way he wrote all of his songs, just fucking around. Let's see. Not fact, essentially. So don't ask if I'm sure about anything, because I'm not. It's very un-Lars Landian of me, but there we go. That's fact. Okay, so let's see. I wonder if we'll ever figure out how Yesterday was wrote. I mean, I'm assuming it had something to do with scrambled eggs. He wrote it after a dream of his mother. No, VT, the joke, like, we know the official story. It's just all, like, we know the official story. It's just that there's like a couple other places where people, like, say that it was about Mal because, you know, brother Malcolm, but we've heard all kinds of versions. George's interviews on Anthology are absolute gold. I love George on Anthology. Though I think George, I used to be like, George is so reliable. George is so reliable. And the more I learn about George, with peace and love, so much love, I don't think he's as reliable as he thinks he is. Because George really is like very grumpy. So, and also, so like Live Aid stuff, there's like a lot of contradictions specifically, like regarding George in Live Aid and conversations and people slasher mini films, peace and love count. Don't drink to this. George was hilarious on Anthology. I did feel bad for Paul because Paul would say something excitedly and George would just be like, not what happened. See, I think Paul was just excited to talk about John. I also wrote a song in a dream, then realized it was My Love, My Life by ABBA. Pop career instantly put on hold. Mal Evans on footage remembered that he was the one who said, he was the one who calmed Paul in his dream. Brother Malcolm comes to me. Yeah, I could see that. So, drink no, bong hit yes. Okay. Now, it depends on how big your hit is. Be careful. Are we be careful with our gravity bongs, okay? The whole we won't come to America until we have a number one thing is funny. That is my favorite Beatles inaccuracy because it is not true. Like, provably untrue. The show was booked in, I think, November. Hi, I found your channel recently. I just wanted to say thank you for making Beatle content that isn't just guitar chords or direct interviews, and for proudly being emotional about it all the time, because me too. You're welcome. Mal was also the groupie wrangler for the boys. Yeah. Beeble and drugs is something I find interesting. So go get Ridin' High by Joe Gooden, I think. Hey, Jeff Dharma. That is my lost fan who is still somehow here for the Beatles. Jeff is well-rounded like me. I have a lot of Jeffs. Hey, Snippy21. Let's see. The biggest hype ever is that George had all these songs ready to go for All Things Must Pass. There are only 15 distinct songs on that album. George himself sandbagged the title for his own. The thing is, like, so George said in one of the White Album interviews, like before White Album came out, that he was like, we have like 50 songs, something along those lines. You guys can go back. It's like at the beginning of the timeline section of the video. And it's like an actual paper. It's from a paper. So he said something like, we have so many. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, we were booked to go there after the Paris trip. The booking, like, it was already done with the show with Ed Sullivan. Like, everybody knows that. Speaking of Mal and Paul's songs writing, was Paul asked about Mal's claims writing some Sgt. Pepper songs? I don't know the answer to that. I don't think, frankly, okay, like, let's base this off of what we see in Get Back and generally what we know about songwriting. I don't want to give anyone outside of the four of them too much credit for anything in a Beatles song, except for like maybe like Peter Asher, or if we're talking like Leon Russell with Bangladesh, he gets credit for that. And I think I'm assuming that Eric Clapton came up with the solo for When My Guitar Gently Weeps. Wow, My Guitar Gently Weeps. Oh my God. But I would say that co-wrote or like writing or input, it might be like a line here or there. So I think it depends on how picky you want to be about, or nitpicky, I suppose. You want to be about giving credit, which is fine. Like nitpicky, me, you know. So, but we didn't get, they put, yes, Billy Preston. Yes. Like that's obvious though. I'm talking about people who didn't get credited. Ed Sullivan and Eric Clapton got credited, but as a different name. George's mom contributed to Piggy, so like she's not on the credits either. Yeah, I mean, like that's, you know, and well, Alan Klein wasn't on How Do You Sleep, or How Can You Sleep? Jesus. Me, When My Guitar, people chip in sometimes, but Pulling Together a Song is something else. Yeah. So like I think we might be going a little too far with like so-and-so wrote so-and-so, but going by modern standards, all four Beatles and George Martin should be credited on Eleanor Rigby. So like, if we're dealing with, so when we're like, let's talk about Lizzo. What is it? Truth Hurts. Like, just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Like, that is from a tweet. And Lizzo, I believe, got sued because the person who did the tweet, like wanted credit and wound up getting credited on the song. So like now anyone who contributes in any single way gets credit. Whether or not you agree with that, I don't care, because I am not a songwriter. And like, I mean, my brother, okay, he saw every single bit, not every single bit, but almost every single bit of the Lost video before it came out, just not in succession. Like he saw almost everything, and he knew almost everything that I was going to write about. And he did not want credit, even though I offered to give him credit. And like, crazy how you say a word and someone uses it in a song and you don't get credit, you might get sued. It's crazy. Like, so I think we might be taking things a little too far, but I've also never made a song. So like, you know, but still I would say my brother was like a sounding board, but he didn't make that video, you know? I mean, with the way things were with John and Paul, they decided to credit each other and be done with it. And that made the most sense then and still does. Oh, bloody, oh, blow, dog, life goes on, bruh. Yeah. And I think like Paul and John, I wonder how much they would have stuck with the Lennon-McCartney thing and not been so brutal about it had they made up in a more specific way before John died, you know, or if John lived longer. I recently saw some footage from the making of MMT, Whereby the Bus. Is this a secret backdoor on commentary on the My Sweet Lord lawsuit? No, because that one is different. And I frankly still don't know enough about it. Okay, wait. Whereby the Bus parks up in the entire cast of a small township shop. Pretty crazy if you think about it. It's on YouTube somewhere. It's on my Patreon version. That's why many showrunners / movie makers won't and can't read content about their stuff in case they accidentally pick up ideas. So another reason is like, I don't watch or listen. I don't watch, like, yeah, Billy Corgan, love him, but he's had like some issues and it's been all kinds of things, but he just did a podcast. This is not related. He just did a podcast with somebody and was like, do you remember XYZ song? And the person who wrote that song, I forget who this was, right? The person who wrote that song is dead. Like, and so he was talking with like members of the band that are living, and he was like, that was based off my song, blah, 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 blah. And I'm a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan, and I was like, oh my God, you're making us so embarrassed. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. Oh my God. You know, I think the like the tit for tat stuff that watch any interview with Corgan and take a drink / bong hit every time he talks with his hands. Same though. But yeah, it's tough. Like it's tough to know, but I was going to say something about myself, but I forget. Shocking. God forbid someone gets inspiration and not credit someone for what could be insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Like the thing is, in something that we saw in a lot of Beatle interviews was that they said, like, we all take bits off of each other. Like we all do this, we all do this, we all do this, about not watching other Beatle content. Yeah. But like, so the Beatles were very aware of like, we all use each other's stuff. It's not a big deal. And I think the vibe of that was a lot more loosey-goosey back then than it is now, which is crazy because back then, hearing stuff, finding stuff, you had to search it out or listen to the radio a lot, or, you know, sometimes be getting imports and those kinds of things. Whereas now you can hear a song immediately. You can find it on your phone immediately. It can be on a TikTok. You can Shazam it and find it immediately. Like you can, so it's so much easier to get inspiration on accident, you know? Okay. So, you're so right, Jeff. He's one of those interviewers who wants to drag the interviewee to his point 90% of the time. Loving Billy Corgan is one of the most difficult things that I do. So it's one of those things where it's like, don't want to talk about the person. Love the music. And when you like, I love the music. The guy sucks. He's so annoying. Okay. Well, what I was going to say is Queen had an amicable solution to credit. I have not been to London. Solution to credit everyone in the band as songwriters from the Miracles onwards from his albums. Can you guys tell me what that solution was? I know music, a genius, but it showed. What a wonderful way. Jeff Dharma, I love you. But yeah, I think like, what was I going to say? Tell me what the Queen thing was, or credit the production as Queen alone. See, I like that. Hi, Derek. I posted before. What did he do? I don't know much about him. He's just annoying. Like he's just annoying. Every song is credited to Queen. Okay. See, that I would have liked. That I would like for the Beatles, because especially like the thing about, okay, let's talk about the White Album for a second. Let me talk about the White Album. God forbid you guys ever let me talk about the White Album. Okay. The White Album gets so much shit about like, well, it was 4 albums, blah, blah, blah. No, I think it was one of the most collaborative. The more I've learned about it, and I've learned more since I did that stupid video that I'm so proud of. I've learned more about it since I put that up. And I think it is so much more collaborative than we want to say. And I think it's difficult. No, I have not been to the UK at all. I've been to the Bahamas, and I've been to Cayman Islands, and I've been to Rio because I went on a school trip to cover the Olympics. It was weird, crazy times. Hollywood Bowl 64 concert is on YouTube. Yeah. Hollywood Bowl, I put in everything that I could find in my Hollywood Bowl video. I'm so proud of that video. This live stream is now going to be 9 hours. Shut up, Alan. Of course it is. I can't even do a live stream under an hour and a half. Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't even have a little, I can't say that word on here, like little chatty thing. I said that word on my first live stream. So are we going to see Carnival of Light? I don't think we are going to see Carnival of Light according to what we've heard from leakers. that we're probably not going to see it. I would appreciate new demos. I don't think that we're going to get a lot in that way. Okay. Okay. The smoke monster is my spirit animal. Same. Derek, I'm leaving the ads up this time because I don't want to fuck with it right now. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, Carnival of Light is it is basically a noise song that was a specific amount of time that I don't remember. And does somebody tell me how long it is? Yeah, it's like 14 plus minutes. It's extremely long. And it was a noise song that, as far as we know, they played it live, I believe, once at something. George hated it so much. 13 minutes, 48 seconds. George hated it so much. And it was Paul's thing, that George is like, we're never releasing it. We're never releasing it. We're never releasing it. I don't think Ringo gives a fuck, really. But I think he's not Ringo doesn't he doesn't strike me as someone who's like, about like, oh, we got to honor his legacy. Yeah. 14 minutes is nothing, says this person who made an 11.5-hour White Album video. But yeah, it was made in like 66, 67, and we've just never gotten it. And it's like the one unreleased Beatles song that everyone's obsessed with. Ethel Cain prepared me for this. Yeah, if you listen to noise music, it's not a big deal. Like, I think, like, I just don't think we're ever going to get it because he hated it, I like when they steal from themselves, like John stealing glass, which is about Alan Klein and very harsh, the same as How Do You Sleep? Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care. Like, I know a lot of people really care about it. And it's just like, I don't care. I don't feel like we're ever going to hear it. No, I don't. Like, Luis, this is just my vibe. Like, I just don't think we are ever going to hear it. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not any sort of like expert or anything. I just really don't think we're ever going to hear it. But I guess people probably thought that we were never going to hear Now and Then either. So, hang on. Basically, what the leakers are saying is that there's not going to be like a lot of new stuff musically. Is that we might be getting like some like re-released or like leaked demo, like not demos, but like extra tracks, just like we get with, like Revolver and stuff like that. It's not going to be anything crazy new, is what we're hearing, which is fine. I mean, but like I said, one of the leakers is saying, Odessa, I would love to say alternate takes. I want alternate takes. I want alternate takes really badly, but I don't know the answer to that. I really think that it's like one of the leakers says that they think it's canonically correct, which is interesting to me because Red and Blue apparently weren't canonical. I love hearing them goof around in the studio. I think after Paul and Yoko pass, we are getting every sellable scrap. I don't think it will be that great. I just want a remaster. Abigail DeVoe in the fucking chat. I just want a remaster of the Anthology doc. It is all I want. Yes, me too. I want the cleaned up audio of the Anthology documentary. I want cleaned up audio. I want cleared out, remastered footage. It is a good thing Ringo is immortal. Ringo's immortal. He doesn't care. We need a full version of George Harrison's version of Get Back from the All Thing Must Pass. Yeah. I don't think Yoko is in charge. No, I don't think so either. As far as I know, Yoko's just vibing on Yoko's just vibing on a farm. As far as I know, she's not really involved. As far as I know, Sean comes up with all of the concepts, and like Sean comes up with all the concepts, and then he claims to not have anything to do with the price tag. What do we think about that? Ringo is immortal. I personally think Ringo is immortal because he gets dark chocolate on his rider. He gets dark chocolate before every show. Isn't that adorable? His rider is one of the most like wholesome, adorable things I've ever heard in my life. Okay, back to like, we were talking about credit because I think a bunch of new people just came in. We were talking about credit where credit's due. And back to that for a second. I think like I don't even watch, one of the reasons I don't watch other Beatles creators like or listen to podcasts really like that I'm not in, because I've done a couple of podcasts and stuff. Bro, how is Newtopia going on about censorship and won't give us the forbidden song? Newtopia, like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Like, Newtopia is just a freaking mess. Anyway, I don't even watch like other Beatle creators, not partially because I don't want to compare myself like emotionally, partially because I need a break like when I'm just vibing. But another big reason, and like a super freaking valid reason, is that I don't want to get any ideas or beliefs from other people. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Newtopia is a John Lennon estate project that is supposed to be a game that basically failed, and it's still going, and it sucks. Do you listen to the podcast Another Kind of Mind? I do not, but I think I will listen to the Lewisohn Another Kind of Mind section. The game is Escape to Newtopia. Okay. I just don't, it sucks. Let's see. That you are afraid to be critical of them makes you stand out. I don't know. Maybe I should learn how to think before I talk, which is weird because I work for a long time before I put anything out and still put my foot in my mouth all the time. I wish it was an ARG. My God. So the reason why Another Kind of Mind, I would be one of the, oh no, the Lennon estate narrative is real fucked. Have you listened to McCartney, A Life and Lyrics podcast? That's one of the ones I would do. I would do something with the Beatles. Like, that's a different story. But I would listen to the Another Kind of Mind podcast on Lewisohn, because they are, no, unless they're cutting you a check. And here's another thing. And I want you guys to know this about me forever. And this will never change. I will never be someone who gets merch or gifts or anything from any of the Beatles people, any of the estate, any of that shit. That will never happen, because as a journalist, like, even though I'm a fan talking with a journalist background, just because of what is Nancy here? Oh, Nancy just did a podcast on Happy Just to Dance with You. I am also going to be on the Note by Note podcast. I will never take any gifts, because that's where you get in a really difficult situation on being able to speak your mind. And I just couldn't do it. I would feel icky, and it would make me extremely uncomfortable to do that. And it's like literally taught in school, my school, like, you can't take it. Thank you. Nice black cat. He's not in here right now, but bribing problems also. But yeah, I just won't ever do it. And like, no shade to the influencers who do it, but I'm legitimately not an influencer. So like, I'm just an idiot, like, talking with a journalist background. And once again, I started in TV and movies. Like, that's really where That's not what I started in for journalism. That's just what I started my YouTube channel planning on doing. And I would probably accept like let's be real, I would accept extra Lost stuff, but that's, I feel like, a different thing, because the narrative of Lost isn't like something that's up for debate. It's a fucking TV show. Whereas the narrative from all of the estates is like, you know, it's what serves the people. Like, Lost is a show versus Beatles are real people. Exactly. And, you know, I am doing, like, slowly working on a Game of Thrones video. That would be one that I would not accept anything for because of general reasons. But, like, here, have a free Anthology 4. You cannot say the Beatles are gay ever again. I never said the Beatles were gay. I didn't say that. I didn't say anybody was gay. I said John Lennon is probably bisexual. Go back and listen to my freaking words, you guys. Listen to me when I talk. My God. Like, I spend all of this time doing so much nuance in talking about bisexuality and how sexuality is a spectrum, and everybody's like, John Lennon wasn't gay. I never said he was gay at all. Gay is men attracted to men. I never said that. But I use the word, like, sometimes things are gay as a joke. Anyway, I think Yoko said her and John were bi, and she did. I have not read the Paul McCartney Portugal trip. Was that in the lyrics book? Hang on real quick. One moment, please. One moment, please. Let me go to my help document, which is insane. I still am going to do a help video at some point in my life. But let's see here. Portugal. Okay, so here's from the lyrics. Yeah. Putting the music together went well, but for lyrics, I still only had the scrambled eggs. Oh, baby, how I love your legs, scrambled eggs. So during a break in filming, Jane and I went to Portugal for a little holiday, and we landed in Lisbon and took a car ride. 3 or so hours, about 180 miles down to Albufeira, near Faro. We're going to say that those are wrong. We were going to stay at Bruce Welch's house. One of the things I like to do is try not to think. So, okay. Yesterday, suddenly. Okay, yeah, there. It's right there. It'll be in the help video. I'm kind of like, that's cool. I got a question about something, and then I just pulled up my document, and it's in there. I've always wondered what your favorite Beatles album was. I probably have missed it so many times because you've probably said it before. It took a really long time for me to say whether or not I had a favorite Beatles album, because I was like, well, I will always fuck with Beatles for Sale because of emotional stuff. But like, and if you guys haven't seen my Beatles for Sale videos, then you can go watch that. But if like, when it comes to my favorite album, and it's been my favorite album ever since I started working on it, even though it broke my heart, is the White Album. And it is my Revolver is the answer. Revolver is I'm not saying that the White Album is even the best album. I'm saying it's my favorite. Like, that's another thing where it's like, you guys, we have to like remember that it's like a matter of personal taste versus like, objectively and things like that. And of course, remember, I probably need to say it 8 million times. Bong hit time. Yeah, no, I probably need to say it 1 million times. That like, I'm not a musician. Let's see. Let's see, I'm catching up. YouTube is famous for word in mouth, other's mouth. I think it was a humor thing related to 93 Backbeat. John spreading rumors about himself in the clubs in the 70s and not working top 10 In it not working, top 10 hilarious things him having to say. I've always wondered what your favorite album was. Sorry, I'm catching up, guys. Brian, you said except 8 days a week. 8 days a week has like an emotional part in my life. It's like it's like the darkest thing I can talk about, except for Octopus, but I don't think I will ever actually talk about that. Best sounding early album, ringing guitars and full vocal harmonies. What did that guy say? Stephen D. Stark, a painful lapse in professionalism. Do you like the Love album? I do. It's fun. Don't forget to like. Most overrated. I don't think we're going to say that any of the Beatle albums are overrated. Anyone know why Paul says John was taught ukulele by Julia? It was just it was a banjo, not ukulele, as far as I know. He just misspoke. I think sometimes we need to just understand people misspeak. Not saying 8 days a week is a bad song. I'm just saying it was a major hit from the album. It's not like the best, like when you know like certain things and you're like, well, I understand this and this and this, but it still means a lot, Yuki is something that George loved though. Yeah. I honestly think that the White Album should have been split into 2 albums. Nah, guys, it was Billy Shears on Anthology Fall. Oh, sometimes I still there's a couple of people that like are real, like Paul is dead people and they show up. No, I know you're joking. I know you're joking because I know who the people are. How well would Don't Pass Me By fit in a horror movie? Perfectly. 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 Let's see. Are there more early songs like I'll Follow the Sun that has a great early version? I don't know if we're getting new like versions. I would love other versions of the songs. I just, from what I understand, is that we're not getting anything like, oh my God, new releases, Carnival of Light, even though, yes, I did a clickbait thumbnail, but I liked it. So I liked it, whatever. Billy Joel thought White Album sounds half-assed and unfinished. It's a double album. I love the Beatles chords a lot. What Goes On has one. Maxwell Silver Hammer could be a slasher horror film. I love Maxwell Silver Hammer. I don't think I can say that. Hi, Garrett. I've seen you around. I know that name. Weren't the outtakes from the first album wiped/erased? You would be shocked how much has been erased. It's crazy. Like, I really want more Magical Mystery Tour stuff, but I'm like, I don't know how much actually exists. And you would think, and I guess it's just not having it, like the hindsight of like knowing, wouldn't you want to keep every single thing? Have you ever tried making a What If Beatles album? Like if the band stayed together after 1970 and released another album? I have not. When the Paul is Dead community said Apple Star, it was a fake mustache and would be on Anthology too, but when Paul found out he had all the copies sent back to be burned. Beatles Lost Media is kind of heartbreaking, truly. Yeah. We're really lucky that they started doing just recording everything, after they stopped doing takes and just recording everything. Most of the PPM sessions are gone pretty sad. A PPM video would be fun because I don't think it would take nearly as much work as some of the shit that I do. Not that I don't love the work. I love the work. Paul says now he really would have credited George for the guitar line in I Love Her. I think a lot of the squabbles and stuff that Adam asking a question that I kind of agree with though. Does anyone think Sgt. Pepper is overrated? Not in a good way. See, okay, so overrated is a tricky word, and I don't think that any Beatles album is necessarily overrated, but I think outside of Beatle fans, like outside of people that are here, because if you're here, you don't count to this. But I think like the world is like Sgt. Pepper changed everything. Sgt. Pepper changed everything, you know, and I think like Beatle fans kind of understand that that's maybe not so, like, you know what I'm saying? But I think I wouldn't call any Beatle album overrated, especially since Pepper was one that I listened to constantly when I made the Lost video. I would be editing and I would have it in one ear. Lennon's Losing You sounds a lot like Paul's Letting Go. Well, Jesus, I'm going to have to listen to them back to back here. Pepper is a masterpiece. Yeah, guys. Okay. I'm not saying that it's Angel. I'm not saying that it's not. Okay. I think it's like, I just don't think that it's like I don't know. I feel like it's more of the iconography of the situation. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Do you think the Beatles could be considered a boy band? I think 65 and before here's what's crazy. Okay. That's a good question. From 63 to 65, I think that they have the boy band vibe. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? The boys, they were in fact boys and were in a band. As far as we know, they were in fact boys. And as far as we know, they were in fact in a band. Early Beatles only. Yeah. Okay. Slasher mini films be saying some true stuff tonight. Beatles were a band. Monkeys were a boy band. No, Adam, I'm with you. I'm with you, bud. I know, but there's been a wave of Pepper contrarians. So here's the thing, like the pendulum swings too far because Revolver is getting so much like praise now, where it's like people are like, oh my God, wait, we might have been overlooking Revolver to the point when we were looking at Sgt. Pepper and all of this thing and this thing and this thing, right? And so Revolver gets so much love now that I think people are like, well, I have to love this one so much, so I have to put down something else. I can't love something this much. I can't put another thing first without making sure that second, third, fourth, 10th is like down. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like you can be positive and I don't know if I'm going to say that. Okay, Revolver deserves every bit of hype. I agree that it gets every hype, but it's just I just think it's like you have to, if you love, you have to hate, like you have to blah, blah, blah. It's almost like you have two hands and can hold two things. Exactly. Pepper is weird to me because the songs aren't concretely autobiographical like the other albums. It's the album where they're most absent from the celebrity life and the songs are all fictional. I mean, it was a concept album. So, you know, it was different. I think it was different. Chris, be nice. Have you ever seen the live cam footage of Abbey Road crossing? It's hilarious. Yes, I have seen it. It's crazy. And I know someday, probably, I mean, I don't know when, I have no amount of money, that could get me there, but someday I will go to London. I'm pretty sure I'll never get that photo because I'm too scared, man. Do you believe Pepper was strictly Paul and Mal's concept and nothing more? It's why he credits Pet Sounds as inspirational lyrics. I don't know if we're going to do that. You're fine, Chris. I love you. Is it fair to consider Revolution No. 9 the worst Beatles song? No. I hope the anthology episodes are put up on Disney Plus in high resolution. I am also hoping that. I am really hoping that we get some sort of streaming version. Unless if I get some sort of pity, I'm so sorry check from my dad for my birthday, which is in 5 days. Yeah, 35. I'm not going to be able to afford any sort of release, which sucks. but I want it. I want it so badly. I want it so bad. There's a lot of Let It Be / Get Back still not released. The doc kept mostly to on camera. And the thing about like Get Back is that Peter's first cut to the boys was 16 hours. And it was originally supposed to be 4 half. I have the DVD of all of them. It's all right, but it could be better. Cough, Mal Machine, cough. I just don't hear Pet Sounds musically as inspiration as much as Paul says it is. I think, are you guys going to shoot me if I say, I had you at 29 tops? You're such a liar. Leah, I have done a Paul is Dead video. It's probably not very good. Has anybody seen the Paul is Dead video, and does it suck? Have you seen it recently? Anybody? It's not great. I think the idea or the competition that was put on Paul from listening to Pet Sounds is the inspiration, not the actual music. Hang on real quick. Angel, what are we saying no to? Let It Be remaster looks so much better than Get Back. Okay, so here's the thing. The Let It Be remaster looked so much better than Get Back. Here's what when I first heard this, I was like, oh my God, these are so, like, there's so many good questions and they're so all over the place. Okay. Angel, that the Paul is Dead video, like, tanked my channel for a little bit, so it probably doesn't show up very often. Film people hate the Get Back re-release. Like, film historian type people hate how it looks because it was like done and smoothed over with AI, and then especially with like all of the film grain was taken out, and then the color and the coloration is so different that a lot of film historian type people or like restorative people hate it. And the Let It Be restore is not that, like, so it's different. And so a lot of film nuts will like appreciate the Let It Be version more. Denoise to remove the grain so everyone looks strangely smooth. Exactly. Yeah. And see, I didn't notice it at first, and then once somebody told me, I was like, well, shit. Now it's all I see. Okay. Yeah. Ouch. The video, I don't know what we're ouching about. I know that this has nothing to do with the talking, but a very dear friend of mine who passed away 2 years ago went to a Beatles show when she was a teenager. Oh, that's so cool. Someone asked if I'm going to see Paul. I am not going to see, I'm not going to see Paul. I do not have the money for that. Let's see here. It's not your fault. Paul is dead. Sucks. But no, I'm seeing Paul in November. Rah. I am seeing Ringo in less than a month. My friend and one of my best friends in the whole world got me Ringo tickets. And I'm so excited. I'm taking a Greyhound up. I'm staying at a hostel. I'm so excited. Okay. Yes. What Ruddle songs do you wish was an official Beatles song? Hang on real quick. I have to go look. Sorry. I don't know everything. I've only seen it a couple times, but I loved it. Ouch. I wish Ouch was. Ouch is so good. Only millionaires can see Paul. See, Paul should have never, like, I know it's extremely expensive to put on a tour, especially the way that he does it. So, like, I understand the pricing to a degree, but I have to say, like agreeing to dynamic pricing is shit. Yeah, Ouch was a Beatles song. Yeah, Ouch. I love Ouch. Neil Innes lost half his rights, so they are all Beatles songs. I'm sure you have archaeology. It's more subtle. Eine kleine middle class of music. Oh, let's see. Maybe Paul also has prices so high because they had to buy back the rights to their music. I just can't handle like the nosebleeds being, I don't know, $700. It's crazy to me. Have you guys seen that that interview with Kurt Cobain where they ask like let's make a GoFundMe so Lars can see Paul? No, I feel so bad. I think like shit, you guys, I'm all over the place. Yeah, no, I just think $700 for the nosebleeds, like that is crazy. That is insane. Like you should never be like, yeah, they're charging $75 for tickets. Who? Madonna? And they're like, and he's like, what's our most expensive? And it's like 20. They're like stopping and asking who? He's so scandalized. $700. Yeah. And it's crazy because like, so I was going to try to see Stevie with my mom and that was $400. And I was like, absolutely not. But my friend got me tickets to Ringo. Like I was never going to be able to afford that. And I'm so excited. And I'm seeing him in like the 4th row. I'm so excited. I'm going to cry the whole time. I don't wear waterproof mascara because I don't like it, but I'm going to be wearing waterproof mascara that day. I bet the insurance is spiking the ticket prices. Absolutely. And he does a lot of pyro stuff, right? $28,000 for the front row. You're kidding me. Or is it 2,800? Setting spray for the win. Yeah, I'm going to be buying the Patrick's Stars setting spray. Paul only does pyro and live and let die. Doing it, period, is expensive, though. You know how much like safety stuff you have to do? I have this, by the way. I got this for like $5. So insurance due to age. Oh, yeah. No, keep him alive. It's for the 28,700. You're kidding me. As a journalist, I only made more than that for 2 years before I left. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. No, you're not lame, Matthew. We're a VHS household. We have 3 VCRs just in case. Just in case. We have so many VHS and there's just a general preference. I hugged Pete Best. That's my biggest flex. Etc. I don't think that we're going to get a release of Etc. I miss my VCR and rewinder. Rewinders are great, but they fuck with the tapes, so they can be dangerous to use, so we don't use them. Especially since a lot of our tapes are more than 20 years old. Almost all of them, really. But the VHS was like $5. Hang on real quick. I'm going to ask my partner something. Okay. Lars, do you think we'll finally get some McLennan confirmation on Anthology 4? So if we're talking about McLennan, and I'm only going to say this, and then after this, Angel, cut out any McLennan stuff, okay? The McLennan confirmation that the only thing we really needed was just generally any sort of Lennon estate posts on Paul's birthday. Like for a couple of years, it was going crazy. Okay. No, Shaden, it's not that. It's just that I'm going to get a lot of people going out of their way to yell at me. So I don't want to deal with that. So, but anyway, I don't think we're going to get anything from that on like documentaries. I'm just hoping we get more. I just want more. That's all I want is more. Yes, that one to end my life. Yes, Odessa, that one. I'm letting you guys know that as far as vinyl or CD, well, I don't own a turntable and I only have 2 records and 2 45s, and I own a good amount of CDs. 20-year can, are you joking? We have to know. Yeah, CD, we're not made of money. I'm okay. 20-year can, good. Thank God. Digitize. I have VHS-C tapes of me as a baby, so I need to fix up the VCR and digitize so I never have to run through the VCR and risk chewing the tapes again. Between the Lennon estate and Paul talking nonstop about him is the confirmation you need. Okay, here's what I'm going to say, because there's 85 people here, so if I'm going to get in trouble, I'm in trouble, like, I don't know what kind of relationship it was in the way of romantic or sexual, and we're never going to really know that. But if you want to deny that those two weren't in love with each other at some sort of way that we cannot understand, then you're crazy. Like, that's crazy. Paul and John had some sort of connection that we do not. I'm not telling you who I used to write for. I'm not going to fucking dox myself. Like, those two, like, they love each other. And so, like, I think that's really, it's none of our business anyway. Well, like, sort of, but it's not. I think that mindset of, like, it's none of our business anyway is kind of like, it's kind of the same way as I'm taking issue with people who are saying, I would have no problem if John was bi, but he's not. I would have no problem with John being bi, but he's not. He's not. That's homophobic. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay, Mark. People are crazy and have found me. So, like, that's why I'm not going to share where I was. And so it is like it's a homophobic mindset when people are, especially when, like, if we're going to talk about things that would change the way things are accepted and would make more space for queer folks, it's definitely a straight privilege to be able to say, that. Mark, I'm still talking about it because I need to talk about it. It's not about you. So, like, that's something that, like, it's okay to talk about it, I think, but it's like, it's just, I think let's just say they were like brothers. No, I think that they were deeper than brothers. And I don't think, like, I know brothers who don't talk, you know what I mean? So, like, it's just, I think that their relationship was deeper than brothers. So anyway, you're good, Garrett. Hang on real quick, guys. Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that. No, it's the fact that, like, we're able to talk about the Beatles standing up for people of color because that was, like, obvious. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we're able to do all of that. But for people who are queer and have, especially during that time, it means a lot. And especially during this time where, like, our rights are actively trying to be stripped away. It's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And as, like, you know, I'm non-binary, so I fit under the trans umbrella. And it is like, there was a time in my life, I know I look like a woman now, but there was a time in my life when I really, really didn't. And there was a time in my life when I was like considering top surgery, testosterone. These were all conversations that my partner and I were having and all kinds of stuff. And so like having any sort of representation or anything like that is understandable, but also in understanding reality, like understanding reality in like history is how we understand the gravity of certain songs, like culture, impact, influence. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, okay, here, Dynamite. They were friends with, worked with, inspired by so many gay people that they figured they wouldn't care about the speculation. And like the thing that I agree with that. And like, frankly, here's the thing. Paul said this like last year when Now and Then came out, or 2 years ago. I don't fucking remember it anymore. Time has been but a circle of nothing. Like Paul said, oh, I heard that Now and Then it could be about XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. But like I also heard that it was about me. So I think I'll take that. That's fine. Like he's fine with it. Like it's fine, you know. And the people, I feel like the fans are way more protective and like they're prickly about it in a way that that the Beatles themselves aren't. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. I may have missed it, but what are your predictions for the new anthology? Okay, so my predictions is that we're getting a re-release of the book. We already know that. And I think that the book is going to be more holistic in like holistic, more interviews, stuff that meme culture that we have. I'm carnivaling my light right now. I'm anthology 4ing it right now. Fellas, who's up anthologying their foreign, right? Or foreign their anthology right now? No, like I think that like certain meme culture jokes, because you know, we have like the, what is it called? Oh my God, the Beatles, like Beatle bloopers, you know, those kinds of things. I think that there will be additions in the book. I think that there's probably, I hope that there's going to be a good amount of editions of John's stuff, because John interviews, they're not really hard to find, but you know, for the general public, like if you're just reading regular books, John Lennon moments that boils my noodles compilation, like that kind of stuff. There's a lot that's more in the public zeitgeist now, especially for the younger, like the Gen Z fans. You know, I think that those things, the kind of apple core in the Beatles will want to add some more for that. I also think that we'll be getting a remastered, like restored version of Anthology, the documentary. Who Up Now and They Then. I think that we'll be getting remastered audio on that. And then I think as far as the album release for Anthology 4 is going to be basically is going to be basically the same as Anthology that we have released to maybe my, oh my God, Angel got it. Fellas, who up free and they bird? Who up loving their reel? Jesus Christ. Who up there twisting their shout? Who up, fellas, who up following their son? Who up flaming their pie? We could do this all day. It would be nice if the Beatles movie medley was involved. Who's up getting their back? Yeah, getting my back. Oh my God. These are so funny. I'm fucking dying, you guys. These are so good. Who up twist and they shout? But what I do think, what I was asked, I do not think that we're going to be getting, I don't think we're going to be getting any Carnival of Light or anything like that. But I would love the 27-minute, who up taxing they man? What year is this?
That is an 85 release.
Okay, so we're talking about, Jared, rewinders, like VHS rewinders, they can hurt the tapes, right?
Yeah, because they go really fast. So if they like skip a gear or something like that, they can just pull your tape in half.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's our...
Slower is better. Like, it's better just to do it on an actual, like, VCR.
I love that guy. This is 40 years old. This is Mother's Day. This is our oldest tape. But a lot of our tapes are from the 80s and the 90s. Because... What was the latest VHS that came out?
As far as, like, official releases, it's... two of them. There's A History of Violence from David Cronenberg in like 2006, and then also there was a Disney.
It's so real that David Cronenberg's last one.
Yeah, and then there was also a Disney like website exclusive version of Cars. It's like what, 2007, 2008.
That's crazy.
So, but that one's super. They're both super rare, but that one is like very, very hard to find.
So Cars and A History of Violence, Cronenberg, which A History of Violence by Cronenberg is fucking amazing. Okay, so hang on, let's see. I'm Norwegian my wood right now. I'm sergeanting my pepper. Who up singing my bird? Who up magging they may? I'm passing all my things right now. I'm sawing my standing there. I'm Martha and my dear. 150 is my limit. That's crazy. Like for a ticket. Because like that's Adam, I'm with you, buddy. Like, I want to go see Poppy really badly, and Poppy tickets are like $80. I'm fooling my hill. Let's see, Escape from New York. See, VHS re-releases are happening all the time. Vinegar Syndrome does VHS re-releases.
Escape from New York just got a release, but it's like from a smaller company.
Yeah. 5K for Front Row in Buffalo. Is that Paul?
There, that's an 84 release.
I'm hard in my day's night. Oh my God. Here's an 84 release.
And then another 85 release.
And another 85 release. I'm snooking my room. I'm helter in my skelter. Seriously. I'm truffling my Savoy. I'm fixing my hole. I'm fixing my hole. Who up driving their car right now? I'm crossing my universe. Oh my God. Somebody's gonna like, I'm red rosing my Speedway. I'm hiding my monkey. That's not markup. That's Ticketmaster. Jesus Christ. 5K. That's so Adam is saying that's crazy. That's not markup. That's Ticketmaster. 5K originally for the front row. She said, I'm fixing the hole. I'm Ono in my band. I'm rocking my roll. Jesus, I'm guarding my octopus. These guys, I'm clouding my 9. I'm passing my all things. I'm coming together. In one night, see, Adam, you're right. This is crazy. That's more than 2 of my cars. I'm Vanderbilt and my missus. Oh my God, I'm running my band. I'm Rigby and my Eleanor. I'm walling my bridges. I'm running my band. I'm loving me do. Yeah, that one's a good. I'm knowing my mom. Sorry. I'm coming together. The Beatles. Yep. No shit. I'm imagining. I'm Besame my mucho. This is amazing. I'm whiting my album. I'm sailing my Beatles. I hope we get John in chat. Hold on. Okay, let's see. I hope we get John's unreleased 1984 stuff before 2030. It's really hard to know, but I think we can expect to get a lot of John stuff. It kind of is. We're kind of getting the vibe that we're getting John releases. Like, I'm blacking my bird. Ooh, damn. I'm down in my out. Oh my God. I'm life in my run. I'm life in my sunshine. Who up sheikin' of their Araby? Who up sheikin' there of Araby? I'm crying. I'm up crying for a shadow. I'm crying my shadow. These are amazing, actually. I'm looking up my number. Let's see. I'm up coming in my bathroom window. Sean Lennon will release everything John recorded, guarantee it. I kind of think it seems like if we're looking, see you later, post-apocalyptic trio. I think we're seeing a direction of a lot of Lennon releases here. I have a question. I don't know if it's the thing where you get a new car and notice other people with the same car, but does there seem to be kind of a Beatles resurgence lately? Yeah, there does. But like, I don't know if it's really hard to know, like, if I'm thinking that because I am obsessed with the Beatles. So it's like, so I'm seeing them everywhere, but it feels like, it just feels like there's a lot of Beatles stuff going on. Hang on, gotta let a cat out. Ringo needs to start getting on the bandwagon of box set releases. He's the only one not getting in the game. I just wonder how much Ringo... Yeah, like I can't tell if the call is coming from inside the house or not. Yeah, same. Like we need to ask somebody who's not here. As someone who was in high school during the early 2010s, I vividly recall this resurgence starting with 2009 stereo mono reissues. I'm taking good care of my baby. I think a lot of 70 artists are coming back. Beatles were ahead of their time. I agree. Like, it's resurgence is hard to quantify because they've been reissuing a bunch of Beatles, Lennon, and McCartney stuff in years. Like, I think that Get Back did a lot for this, and probably the 8 Days a Week documentary, but especially Get Back. I think Get Back really started it. But hang on real quick. It seems like people care more, Go, boo. So much for putting on my eyeliner, right? Yeah. Is it our algorithm or is there a resurgence? Beatles come back like every 10 years, maybe sooner between. And for some of us, maybe they never leave. I'm a big Lennon fan, but think he was mentally ill. He was. He knows he was mentally ill. He thought he was mentally ill. I'm pleasing my postman. I'm wahing my wah. The Giles Martin reissues and Get Back kickstarted it. And whoever does the Beatles social media and I'm sending my moon. Oh my gosh. Whoever, I'm moonlighting my mister. Anyway, I'm sleeping my how do you. It's like, yeah, it's the music. That's why there's a resurgence. I'm darkening my horse. Like, I think the Beatles YouTube channel, like they've done a really good job of knowing the environment that they're in and doing really good branding, really good, really clean, really clean website, really clean stuff. They definitely do really good like merch stuff. They make deals with people that I will never buy that shit. Like, are you kidding me? But because it's expensive. It's, hey, Harry, found a leak from Amazon and it looks like some tracks from anthologies 1 through 3 will be released. Hey, I hope they don't get sloppy like I Am the Walrus last year. Sorry. Isn't it a pity version 2 on All Things 50th? I'm up fabbing my 4. I'm up braving my face. What did you think of Two of Us? I think I'm like, it's not, I don't have a popular opinion on Two of Us. I just didn't like it that much. I'm leaving my dog in a hot car. I'm gardening my octopus. We could do this forever. Let's see. I'm digging my pony. I'm bad and she wanted, like I didn't like Two of Us that much. Who up to and they us? I just didn't like it that much. It feels like fan fiction, like because there's no real basis in the story. And it like sucks because it's close to because Michael Lindsay Hogg did it. So I really kind of love him. Like he's crazy. And so it's like he did a good job getting their mannerisms right, but it seems so close that like that it feels like a parody in a weird way. I think Lennon was more sophisticated than he seems on the YouTube fan base thing. I hope that I don't make him seem unsophisticated. I'm revving my 9. I'm freeing my people. Two of Us was absolutely fan fiction, which is what made it good because it was absolutely not real. Exactly. Yeah, see, and here's the thing, like, this is why I'm saying, did you like the Hours and the Times movie? That is pure camp. I laugh at it so hard. It's like, I feel like it's weird because I feel like Backbeat was really well done and acted. And that is not how I feel about the Hours and the Times. Isn't Paul supposed to be a stickler on accuracy? He loves Two of Us. And I know he loves Two of Us. I think he loves Two of Us because he wishes that they had more time together. But I don't know. I see, like, I'm telling you guys, this is like one where I've always been worried about talking about Two of Us because I know Paul loves it. And I usually am like, oh, I agree with what, or like, I want to give credence where credence is due. You know what I'm saying? Paul is Jack, John is Locke, George is Desmond, Ringo is Hurley. Oh my God. And to be clear, Locke, not Man in Black. Oh, if you've seen Lost, that's really good, actually. If you've seen Lost, if anybody else has seen Lost, Jeff Dharma is like top 10 right now, top 5. Oh my God, that is so, oh, I'm so dead. That is so good. I'm Winstoning my Churchill. Stop it. Let's see. Who's up during thy prudence? Oh my God. What are your feelings on the new movies coming out and their castings? So I like, sorry, I'm reading everything. I think that I don't like the casting. I was really hoping that we would be getting some Liverpudlian unknowns and like some real accents and some real people. And I love Barry Keoghan and some stuff. But I feel like it's first off, somebody said this, but it's 4 seems like a lot. Like I'm very confused. Should Lars just say their thoughts? Should Lars just say their fucking thoughts? Like, okay, they're way too old. Like, when are we starting this? I'm pretty sure they're all already older than the Beatles were after they fucking broke up. Like, they look older. They look older than the Beatles did when I don't know if it's like a maturity thing or a fashion thing. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm gonna do my rant and then I will come back to the chat. You guys can keep talking, but I'm gonna look at it in a little bit. Like, so they look so fucking old. Okay. And Barry is short, so good, I guess. But I forget the guy who plays I'm Lars in my land. Yes, you are. Like, the guy who plays George to me does not look like George at all. I don't see any sort of world in which that looks like George. That is fucking crazy. Barry looks nothing like Ringo. That is correct. And I know, I'm sorry. Hang on. I know I'm not supposed to be looking at chat. Jesus, you guys stop being so interesting. My God. Is there a way that I can like pop out chat? Here we go. Yeah, okay. I can make it so I can't see you. Okay. Listen. Barry Keoghan looks nothing like Ringo. His nose is not nearly the same. Are we going to be doing prosthetics? Who's doing your prosthetics? This is important. I used to be in special effects makeup. Who's doing your prosthetics? Are we giving, what is going on with Paul being shorter? Okay, so here's the tea. And if you were here for the Beatles height fight of 2024, this is probably this is the meanest comments I've ever gotten. Paul is 5'11". John and George are 5'10". Ringo is 5'6". We have this based on measurements for their costumes for the Shakespeare reenactment. Okay. And we have other measurements that are about the same. So like, and these three are also close in height that it doesn't really matter. But in addition, not their heels, and I've studied this, I swear to God I have, because the Beatles height fight was so intense. I studied this. Their heels are not always exactly the same because their Cuban heels were made by a shoemaker and they were made for their feet. So I think probably depended on whichever guy wanted. And sometimes it seems like George's were a little higher. And in some cases, I think Ringo's heels are they vary a lot in some of those early years. So it's really hard to tell, but people will say he's 5'8". He is not 5'8". Like he lied. He is not 5'8". He's 5'6". And I've actually thought about straight up doing a video about this before. Like just being like, Ringo is 5'6". But anyway, what are we going to do about Paul being short? Are we going to put lifts in his shoes? Are we going to Gandalf and use forced perspective? Because, and I've rewatched my Midas Man video. I regret it now, but I keep it up because everybody hates it, including me at this point. And I was too mean, and John, like the issue is that the John actor, I don't remember his name, does look like John. Like he does look like John, but he is tiny, like a little tiny guy. And he's so tiny that he just can't be John in my head. And I'm like, the casting is crazy. Like they are all for the biopics. If you were here for the other chat, you know what I'm talking about. The casting is insane. They are all too old. They don't look like them. They're all like, their coloring is off. All of them are too like their eyes are too dark. Like the George actor doesn't look anything like George. Barry Keoghan is too well known to play a Beatle at this point. They need to be, if we're going to have 4 of them for the Beatles, they need to be of equal like social standing in the fame world. And they are all just too fucking old. And I just refuse to believe, like, if we're gonna make them look like the Beatles, then they really need to look like the Beatles. If we're gonna make them sound like the Beatles, then they straight up need to be from Liverpool. Like they straight up need to sound like the Beatles. And I don't think that either of them are going to be able to meet at that point. And it sucks because I really like Sam Mendes. And I like his stuff. 1917 is one of my favorite movies that I've seen in like the last 10 years. Like that has come out in the last 10 years. Loved it. I need to rewatch it. Absolutely brutal. But I'm like, is this guy a real fan? Like, why did he choose that? Why do we need 4? When are we starting? Are we starting in the Hamburg days? Because they were like, have you seen George Harrison in the Hamburg? He looked like he was like 14. Like he was little guy, and he looks so young. And Ringo looks like he's 23 and he's not, but like he looks older. But John and Paul look so young. And somebody said this, but I'm not looking at the chat right now. The guy who plays Paul does not look cute enough to play Paul. And I think like it's Paul Mescal. I'm putting the chat back on. It's Paul Mescal playing. Let's see here. I'm letting things come between me and my meter maid. Oh my God. Hang on. Harris Dixon, Paul McCartney. Okay. He's playing Paul Mescal. See, that's weird. Like, because if I would have picked Paul Mescal for, I don't even know if I'm saying his last name right. if I would have picked him for anything, I would have picked him for John based on, and because I see people do this, casting Beatle people based on other popular Beatle movies. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see. I did a quick search. But see, 29, that's George was 28 during Get Back. Let's see here. His name is Paul, so it goes. Yeah, no shit. John Altman was a good George Harrison too. Yeah. It's just whoever said that they all look like football players, like they really all do. And the people call Midas Man John Mouse John. I said he was like a fancy mouse for $5.99. Wait, I just realized it's possible for Timothy goddamn Chalamet could reprise his role as Bob Dylan for the first weed moment in 64. Chalamet was actually decent though. Can we talk about getting into the Beatles has made me contract a fascination about boots? No kidding. Seriously. But like there was, I don't know, a Twitter handle, like a Twitter profile that was just based on the Beatle boots. Like it was amazing. But I just think I think it should just be a series of ensemble movies that doesn't focus on a specific Beatle each film, which would be fine if they had 4 like sets of people. I feel like it's just like, so are we having younger casting? Because they're so old, like they're so old. And whoever said that they look like footballers, they do. They're all too big. Like those guys, go look at them walking out on Shea Stadium. Like we all know this. They're tiny. All 4 of them are tiny. Even John in his fat era, he's still like thin. You know what I mean? They're all little itties, little itty boys, you know? And it's just, I don't know. And honestly, like, once again, looking back at the Midas Man video, I'm like, Blake Richardson should be the only one to play Paul as long as he looks like that. Like he looks so much like Paul and he's extremely good at Paul's mannerisms. I'm going to be absolutely fucking shocked if anyone can ever hit it. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, John, it's okay to eat, buddy. Somebody asked me, Hollywood has ways to shape actors' bodies. Yeah, by starving them. Like it doesn't matter. They're already too big. Let's see. Bye for now. See you later, KTV. Make a multi-season show. Yeah, I agree with that. That would have worked. I think The Ruddles is the perfect movie for me in terms of an idea of a biopic. They're going to have to shave Barry Keoghan's eyebrows. That's so sad. I mean, they can't block his brows. Are you talking about when Ringo shaved his brows? They can block his brows. It'll be fine. One guy said that the only way it would work is as it is to divide it by something. Since I'm from South Liverpool, the same streets as the Beatles, accents are always very dodgy. And not only there's a variation of 60s Liverpool accent to contend with. Yeah, Marcus is really cool. Marcus has sent me a video of Liverpool before, which was really, really, really neat. Like showing, he's like, hey, Lars. Like, it was so cool. It was like, hey, Lars, here's this, here's this, here's this. And it was like, oh, this is amazing. Showing me like the Beatles statues. And he was like, this is where I walk past every single blah, blah, blah. And this is the Beatles store. Just give me a dark horse tour from the Harrison estate and I'll be happy. That's all I want. That's all I want. Oh my God. I want the documentary, please God. No, I just think they're all too big. They're all too famous. And the Liverpudlian accent, like Marcus said, it's different from today's Scouse accent. It's changed. And it's like, the Beatles themselves now, because Ringo spent so much time in the States, his accent is different because you do acclimate over time. And Paul's voice has acclimated over time in a way, but like, it's just one of the most recorded people ever. See, that's hard. Like, it's just, I don't know who these people are. Who's going to play Billy Shears? If you're going to have older actors, Paul could play Paul. Yeah. Well, and somebody was like, let's just have the Beatles sons play their dads. And I'm like, those boys are in their 50s and 60s. Like, I think Danny's the youngest and they're all pretty old. I mean, like, they all just said copy paste. Not Zach, Jason. Jason looks like Ringo. Julian and Sean look insanely like John. It fucks me up. There was this one photo of Sean with a girl that I just thought for sure was John. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Zach Starkey is my age. I love Christopher Eccleston. How do we say that? But he was too old for John Lennon. How do we say that name? And I don't know who that is because I never really got into. Oh, okay. He does look like John. The ears are a thing. Lennon naked. Eccleston. Oh, I said it right. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, God forbid, I come out and I say, I have weird trauma surrounding being told how to pronounce things, and then people go insane when I fuck up. George hired Julian to play his dad in the When We Was Fab video. Blink and you'll miss it. I know, I've seen it. It's crazy. I can see some Cynthia and Julian, though. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You can see Cynthia and Julian, but all Sean did was just have different skin color and like very early different eyes. And that looks exactly like, that looks just like maybe a little bit of a jaw. But I think Sean looks more like John than Julian. Me too. Me too. I really do think he looks more like John. It's crazy how much he looks like John. And I'm fine with him leaning in with like the circle glasses. Doesn't bother me one bit. But Jason really looks like Ringo. Like, there are some photos of him that I'm like, give him this specific hair. That's Ringo. Lennon naked. I have not seen that. I don't know what that is. There's so much stuff that people will bring up and I'm like, I've never even heard of that. I'm an idiot. Paul's son looks like Paul. He does. Paul's son, like James does look like Paul, but he needs like hair plugs or something. And different hair color. And then also like Mary McCartney looks like Paul. Yeah. Danny used to look so much like George. He's growing into his adult look. Oh, don't scalp shame. No, I'm not scalp shaming. I'm saying I'm saying if he wanted to look like Paul, he would need hair plugs. I don't care if you're balding at all. It's no problem. Like, we don't need to be doing all this stuff to our bodies. You know, the whole thing where it's like, you're not ugly, you're poor. It's crazy. You know, people feel like so like pressured to change how they look, their entire faces, you know? And sometimes I think Paul's youngest kid looks like Paul. Please, seriously. No, Paul's the youngest kid who, we're not going to dead name here, but they have like extremely done a really good job of protecting their privacy. So we're not really sure about B's name. So like Paul's youngest kid looks exactly like Paul. People are so scared of aging. Yeah. And see, it's something that like if I can get like, oh no, you're okay, VT. You're okay. If people want to look up Paul's youngest kid, it's just search Paul's youngest child. Like, I think go natural like the president. No, I think if we're being like completely vulnerable about looks and such, you know, when you're filming yourself for hours on hours and like, I don't remember how much blank space I had for Benedict. Like, I think Benedict is what we're like, the speculation that that's their name. But I think we do a they them type situation because we're not sure on pronouns here. But Paul accidentally outed his youngest child as trans. like he was, and that was supposed to be like a Paul, shut, you know, whoops. But like, anyway, when you film yourself for hours and hours and hours and hours, I think like you start to look at yourself and you start to hate the way you look in a way that's like very weird. You know, for about a year, and I'm just now getting better, but for about like a year, I was really, really, really sick, and I have an autoimmune condition, and like I'm a pretty, believe it or not, you know, and I have huge filters on my, like, regarding pretty much anything that where people could call me fat, because people love to do that. And I'm like, I cut it out so you can't call me that, because I'm like, you literally have to come up with something better to insult me with. This is so annoying. But like, it's just honest speculation on what Heather Mills had on Paul in regards to the box. I don't want to sound like a misogynist, but I don't think that she had anything in that fucking box. Anyway, like, I think it's like you start to hate yourself and how you look and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there are things where sometimes I'm like, should I get fillers in my lips because I've got this small ass mouth? Like, should I get, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, I have hooded eyes, and someday will I need to get my, like a blepharoplasty, and like, you know, I like my nose, so we're good on that one. But it's like, I wear so much, the makeup that I wear in videos, like not even this, cause I'm wearing makeup right now, but like the makeup that I wear, like in videos, it's literally what could be and should be like considered drag makeup. You could not wear the makeup that I do wear in real life. It would look fucking insane. And it just to feel like, oh yeah, I'm attractive here, or attractive enough here. And you know, like I was sick for a long time, and I'm pretty active, and I was unable to like go swim. Don't cry. Or like walk or exercise or anything. And I have a lot of like physical pain. So I'm like living in a lot of pain. And so I lost a lot of like strength, and it's just hard. It's hard, you know? So, and you just become so like obsessed with the way you look. And I'm extremely glad to see that Paul and Ringo, in spite of Ringo fucking still dyeing his hair black, for some reason it works. I think it's because he still wears sunglasses, and I'm glad Paul just let it go, like, and just let it go. But I'm glad that they've kind of let themselves age naturally. Biopic on Mal Evans would be interesting. I agree. Let's see. I remember on Beatles Twitter, Paul should have been played by a woman in the films, and I felt it was a truth nuke. It was a truth nuke, and people got mad about that one. And I was like, somebody was like, Paul McCartney is a man. Have you seen him in a beard? And I'm like, I've seen him in a beard, and he still looks like a lady. I love that we're still kind of putting in like the I'm Maggieing my May. Magic Alex played by Pedro Pascal. Magic Alex played by Domingo. Came all this way only to say direct from Domingo. It'd be sad at the end if they did a Mal movie. It'd be sad at the end if they did a full John movie. You will not like the Birth of the Beatles movie. Oh, I'm scared, Jeff. Paul and Ringo aged wonderfully. They sure did. I think that someone on Twitter said if Paul Mescal is playing Paul, put that man on E now. No shit. Odessa. Who would play Mal Evans? The guy who plays that one serial killer in Mindhunter. The guy who plays like that massive serial killer that like fucked his mom's head or whatever. It's just, it's not my fault. It's not our fault. Paul is an extremely feminine. He was the cute Beatle. I mean, he's still pretty adorable, honestly. Chris Pratt is Billy Preston. What? Wait, what? You're kidding. Wait, what? You're lying. It's 20-year can. 20-year can's lying. That can't be possible. Cameron Britton. Yeah, he could. Okay. See, 20-year can, I think you're the funniest motherfucker of all time. Do not stop. Keep fucking with me. This is hilarious. Whoever plays Mal has to be both enormous and cuddly. Birth of the Beatles is where I learned a lot about the Hamburg days. Factual off, but still, all of them are factually off. So I did a fifth Beatle video. In your opinion, who was the fifth Beatles? I did a fifth Beatle video. It's horrible. I think it's like 15 minutes. But the opinion from that video stays the same. Anya Taylor-Joy is Yoko Ono. Interesting. Oh no, you're fine, Connor. I've done like 50 videos on the Beatles. It's impossible to keep up. Also, especially since I stopped, before I started making these like epics, they all like came out, really quickly and stupidly. Paul and Linda were interesting looking. Paul had feminine face while Linda's face was masculine. Yeah. Paul and Linda, especially in the 70s, I'm like, that's a lesbian couple. And John and Yoko at any age or year, doesn't matter what kind of facial hair John has, that's a lesbian couple. I like, John said that he liked Yoko because she was a man in drag. And Yoko seemed, for all of her faults, and we've got tons of sweethearting in my Hannah. Oh my God. Have you thought about making a video about Beatles side people because there's so many of them? Yes. If George Martin better be played by the guy who plays George Martin in Midas Man. Only that guy. Whoever played George Martin in Midas Man is the only person who can play. May Pang is extremely cute. Is the only person who can play George Martin. He looks so much like George Martin. He's got the perfect like mannerisms and all this stuff. May Pang is so cute. George and Patty, depending on the year, do kind of look lesbianish. And sorry, Ringo, you don't fit typically in the lesbian vibe, my guy. Low-key waiting for you to make a Brian video one day. So that'll happen, but that is a lot of work. No, May Pang is, this is hard to say because we're talking like models and shit, but May Pang is like, she's so awooga, honka, honka, honka. You know what I'm saying? Done right, I think a biopic about Pete Best could be very interesting. If I already read My Apologies. No, I hadn't read it. I think out of all of the people who need a biopic, it's Pete Best. Pete Best. We need to know more about him. Like, all the Beatles girlies are so pretty, including Yoko. I'm so sorry if you like. I hear so much shit about her looks, and I don't want to hear it because okay, wait, no, Lars, wait, finish your thought. Finish your thought. Jesus Christ, Yoko in all black is so wooga honka honka. Okay, let's see. Ever read Klaus Vormann's book, Anya? As far as I know, Klaus's book is all in German, and I'm not that conversational at this point anymore. Does anyone know of any place I can acquire without paying for an English translation of that book? And if there is an English Klaus book, I'm an idiot and I had no idea about it. Okay. I've never been that curious about Pete Best. That's fair. I'm just interested in him. Whoever says Yoko isn't attractive is just pushing misogyny. And yeah, like I think when we're talking Yoko, I have like a lot of feelings about. You can watch my White Album video. It's pretty like I'm happy this is a Yoko positive space. Now I want to say like Yoko has lots of criticisms and she does not she doesn't get to hide from those in Lars land. Like that's something, you know, I have her chapter in the White Album video has 3 full sections. Like, so, and it's like, so I don't fuck around with that. And so like, there's whoever said it earlier. It's almost like you can have 2 hands, you can hold both things. Like, both things happen where it's like there are things where we should be critical of, and then there are things that are just fucking insane and awful. And both of those things exist, so we have both of them. You know what I'm saying? So like, which member of Baby Metal could play Yoko? I don't know their names, but oh my God, which one is it? Yoko Ono was hot. Yeah. Listening to Sometime Over New York City, Yoko had some great songs. I like some of Yoko's stuff, yeah. But not like, there's just a lot of, you know, there's a lot of opinions that come up when it's like, oh, here's my opinion, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you only heard her do the wailing thing, you know what I mean? So you weren't interested in finding out more because you didn't like the wailing thing, which is understandable. But then that creates like a sweeping opinion of one person forever. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I always thought her lyrics were great. Yeah. Like if you listen to the things that Yoko says, like if you listen to her actual words, you know, she says good stuff. Her messages are typically pretty good. But the issue is where you come down is whether or not you think she believed those things that she was saying and whether or not her actions lined up with her words, because there's a lot of wondering about, you know, just general treatment and things like that. But I'm going to get off Yoko because if we stay here, we're going to go to like a fighty place and I don't want to get to a fighty place. So up here earlier, someone asked about making a video of the Beatles kind of entourage. There's so many of them. Brian, George, Mal, Neil, but also like Magic Alex and Robert Fraser. Robert Fraser would be crazy. Crazy. I've thought about it, and I'm sure one day I will, you know, but like it's kind of like there's a lot in plan. Like specifically, okay, for Wings video, I've done a Band on the Run video. So I don't plan my videos based on what I don't plan my videos based on like what's popular or like what's coming out ever. And that's been, except for Now and Then. So I probably should, because like my Now and Then video is my second most viewed. So I should probably do an anthology video. But if I do an anthology video for this, guess what's never going to come out? Like my Live Aid video. And I should, so I might do like something, but it would be, and I say this all the time, but it would be shorter. Like it would be a shorter video because I would need to get it out quickly, do a turnaround, and try to see what I could do. But like, I do topics based, Jesus Christ, there goes a cough drop. I do topics based almost solely on, like what is striking my fancy. Like the reason why I picked Help for an upcoming, oh my God, sorry. A good scene in biopics would be Jeff Emmerich POV in the studio, basically being the goat of the sessions. Yes. And I know that I don't watch Fathom's videos. Like we don't watch each other's videos. It's for like obvious reasons. But I know that Nancy disagrees with, we have like 2 different views on Jeff. That's fine. Like, that's fine, you know, but I think that Jeff's like, he's a little self-important and he doesn't like George. So like I always say, I always have to have like, multiple, sourcing and stuff like that. But, it's just, I think Jeff is sometimes a little bit of not a revisionist, but like, he likes himself, you know what I mean? Which is fine because I think if you read his book, I'm like, this guy is really struggling with generalized anxiety disorder and probably like the craziest low self-esteem and catastrophizing I've ever seen. Jeff is a fanboy of Paul. Yes, he is. And that's the thing when I talked about it in my Lewis and Lied video, like we always have to look at the videos, not the videos, the books and the videos, like any documentary or anything, who's writing this? Who do they get along with? Where is their ongoing relationship? Who does this narrative serve? So like Klaus and Astrid were the closest with George. So you have to be careful when you're reading and listening to their takes on things because their narrative will serve George. So like even more so than John, and would less so serve like Paul, and Klaus also would serve John. So it's like, those are kind of the things where it's like, you have to be careful, where Jeff like worked with Paul forever. And MVP, most valuable player. Like those are the things that I think, you just have to, no account is ever without bias. Yeah. Because we all experience things our own way. So, and people are able to empathize with people for certain things. Okay. Oh, speaking of books, do you have a recommendation on where to start on books about the Beatles? Bitch, do I? Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. Honestly, and I don't know what we're getting for the new anthology book. So like this might change, on whether or not you should get the newest one. But I'm not going to lie. This is kind of a good place to start. Because it's just all in one place, a lot of interviews from the Beatles. So it's chronological. And so you kind of get like a good wrap of kind of what everyone said or what we know everyone said, even if it's not what they believe. Not the hair has been burned. Yeah. Hi, Clint. Even though it might not be like real, it might just be kind of like, oh yeah, that's what Paul is saying. I hope they have updated the formatting in that book. God, me too. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to read over some of this shit? One of the worst ones, Yellow Submarine, is so, hey, Anya, do you know Klaus' article, what article that was? Can you let me know? Let me find the Yellow Submarine page. It is just the fucking worst. I have all these little Post-its. How nice of me to have put all these Post-its from all these different projects that I never took out, so I don't know where the hell I'm going. How nice of me and how considerate. That was so cool and fun. Thank you. This page. Excuse me. How am I supposed to read this? Hello? Hello? How am I supposed to read that? How am I supposed to scan that and put that on my fucking video for you guys to read up in a tiny corner? Hello? Hello? Jesus Christ. Ugh. Anyway, and the other thing, like, yes, I shit on Mark Lewisohn all the time. That's fine. Like, that's fine. Whatever. Because the egregious stuff, yeah, art director pieced out big time. Like, yeah, my head hurts looking at that. I spend, and you guys don't understand. You see all my videos, you see how long they are, right? Do you know how much time I spend reading this goddamn book? Like, physically and digitally, I spend, oh, hello, Slasher Mini Films came back with some pasta, said, Lars isn't shutting up yet, we need some food. Yes, anything is better than Philip Misinformation Norman. Like, George was asked, what is the best? No, as far as I know, it was never in paperback. As far as I know, it was never in paperback. But like, you're okay, Anya. No, Slasher, you're fine. I want you to be well fed. Like this book, George said that this was the best book because it is the most accurate. And it's just like, it's, lovely and all, but whatever. Anyway, back to Lewisohn real quickly. I know I shit on him, but when it comes to, and I have reasons to shit on him. They're good reasons too. And Doug Solby has done quite a bit of like fact checking on the complete Beatles recording session. So I need more from him regarding stuff when I start working on the second White Album video. But this is literally the worst. My partner's a graphic designer. This in like, I think I was extremely upsetting to him when I was like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Each of these are different days. Look at this shit. The Lou count was just for that video. If I start making the Lou count for every time I talk, it's gonna be really bad. Because I will never shut up about that man. I will never shut up about how much he's like fucked up. Look at this. I should have known that he was not a good man. I'm not really saying that. I'm not saying that he's a bad person, but like, I should have known that he had questionable judgment when he said, that looks good and legible and normal, and we're just going to leave it like that. That's fine. You're crazy. That's crazy. There was no re-release or updated version. It's still like this. There's so much info and the graphic design has to go out somewhere. No, because no, that's not true. And not shitting on you, Odessa. Hang on. Just a second. Let me go through all my other goddamn books. Okay. Is this ideal? No. This guy I feel like Ian McDonald, I like him because he goes in depth with a lot of informations. That was the complete Beatles recording. I feel like he kind of hates the Beatles, but like, no, it doesn't have to be crazy. It can be normal. Like it can be normal. Yeah, the complete Beatles recording sessions. Yeah. And then like he starts out like this. At this point, PDFs are the way to go because holy shit, you are correct. Also, I have to say, because I kind of hate a lot of stuff these days, I like the way that he did this because he does have a nice little typeface for the titles. And then he differentiates things this way and then has a normal font. Like, I like that. Most of the books, yeah. Oh, so they were just getting silly with it. Then they were not they were just like, let's just be weird. And if you want to be a goofball, that layout is evil. It is evil. If you want to be a goofball, then be George. Be a goofball. Like, just goof around. Look at this. Look at this. I should be embarrassed. That one's not bad. I don't like McDonald's describes Get Back Sessions as an unmitigated disaster. I think, like, I'm starting to question whether or not I should use him, but it sucks because I like him as a source. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows music stuff and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But he's like really mean. Oh my God. Didn't Paul say that Revolution in the Head was really far off from what they were thinking when they made the songs? That is keeping me from that one. Oh. Well, Clint, thanks for letting me know. I did not know that, and I will be keeping that in mind. Yeah, George was like, fuck it. Fuck it. I love this book. But yes, if you want to start with, okay, so back to the original question. Back to the original question is that you should start with the anthology book. And, oh, no, what I was saying is positive about Lewisohn is the complete Beatles recording. He had so much stuff. Like he had access to everything. Thanks for it. Yeah, guys, I have really bad ADHD and we're all excited and talking. So just remind me where I like left off or what I fucked up. So just tell me. So what I was saying about the complete Beatles recording sessions is that he had all the access to all of the recordings and stuff. He's got the times of when the sessions were there. He goes through everything pretty well. So I like his stuff for just like the facty facts of it, but his information in that god awful text are just, it's not always like the best. we get a little bit of opinion in there, and not saying that opinion is bad, shocking, but I like, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, you're wrong. Also, one of the things I said in Rubber Soul was incorrect because of him. So, and I'm still embarrassed about it because that's one of my biggest. Okay. So sorry, me bringing it up again. No, Anya, I want you to bring it up again. But the thing I read was in a small extract from the German book Klaus wrote. It's online for free. I will find it. Yeah, I will find it. I know I've read something, but I don't know. I've read something, but it wasn't very much. Like it was just a couple of paragraphs. So I'll look it up. Okay. So, but honestly, yeah, which guy, what, it was him. It was him, Mark Lewisohn. So Mark Lewisohn, as far as we know, with Frankensteining quotes, like in Tune In, Volume 1, I have it literally right in front of me. I've been using it to hold up my mirror when I put on my makeup, so it stays right here. But it's literally right in front of me. But I don't read it anymore. It sucks because Mark Lewisohn is known and spoken about like he's like the Beatle historian god, and he's not a historian, which is like a big issue. And yes, Angel, it's extremely disappointing. It's extremely disappointing because he's been so popular for so long that whatever he's already written is like already very much believed by a lot of people. So it's hard to undo what is known and written, right? But the thing is that there's something that changed with him between his chronicling years and his writing years. Something changed. I don't know it because he made he made these books, the Chronicle books, and they're good. Like they're really good. And or at least in my opinion, they're pretty good. And he, like, for the White Album, I read everything I could find on it, everything I could find, except for one book that I found out about later. And all the quotes, everything, like he had a couple of author interviews, but all the quotes that I've seen, they were like from other sources that I had. So I would wind up pulling the quote from the other source because it was just bigger, better, whatever. And I found other things more important than he did, blah, 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 right? So I was literally cross-checking them as I go. So, but I never found anything that was so disturbing as Frankensteining the quotes. And Frankensteining the quotes, the way that cutting different quotes from different interviews, different subjects, and putting them together and drawing some sort of inference from that, it should be like, would get me fired. Like it would, I cannot tell you guys this enough. It would literally get me fired. I would not be able to sleep at night if I did that. And finding that out, like because I'd heard something about it, but finding the extent of how far that shit went until after my White Album video came out, it was extremely upsetting to me. Okay, so no, I did not cry about it, even though I cry about a lot of things. I got pissed. Okay, so anyway, here is, let's be real about things where you need to start here. Where is my fucking whatever book? My God. I'm missing it. The Beatles and the Historians. Where is it? Okay. The Beatles and the Historians. You have to read this. You have to read this. You're good, Jeff Dharma. Enjoy your alone time. You have to read this if you're going to start reading stuff about books, about Beatles. Really about books, actually, if you want to know how to question things, because it's a very short book that kind of teaches you how to, like, hang on. It kind of teaches you how to, like, read into sourcing and go, here. Like, it's literally this long. So, because this is all the chapter notes. Unless if you're like me and you take notes from the notes. Okay, so that's a good one. And I like Spitz as a book. But you got to be careful because like his stuff, he's a big Yoko hater. So you got to be careful. Like if you see something about someone and it's continuously only negative, like there's almost nothing that it's like, there's almost no positive anything, there's no balance in the conversation, then you need to be like, oh shit, I got to look somewhere else too. And so he was one of the hard ones that I quoted for a lot of like music based stuff. But when it was like the personnel regarding like Yoko, that was a problem for me. So I like this book. I think it is a good intro to the Beatles, especially for like I would say kind of like up until like a little bit after India, like then I could fuck with it. But anyway, let's see. Graham Thompson's book on George Harrison is really good. I think that that's really important. Because like I've always said this, but I think this is not like a new take or anything. You find out more about Paul and John than on accident than you do like for Ringo and George on purpose. So you gotta read Graham Thompson's book, which is usually like Odessa library. Yeah, library sources are really important, and a lot of stuff is on archive. Alan Clayson writes some good stuff, and he's got a Ringo book, which is, I get every Ringo book I can find. I literally, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure I own all of the Ringo books except for one of his books. This is the Postcards from the Boys, and I have his photo book over there, but there's one more Ringo book that I don't own. Otherwise, I think, as far as I know, I have every Ringo book that's not some self-published disaster, and I do own one self-published disaster. Yes, support your local libraries. Absolutely support your local libraries. And if you don't, you'd be shocked how much favorite Ringo album is Ringo, self-titled. You would be shocked how much like stuff that you can get that's free. Graham Thompson and Alan Clayson, hang on. Do you recommend like the definitive John book? See, that's really hard. I don't know if I can give you a good definitive John book, actually. Because if I'm giving you definitive Paul books, I would give you the McCartney Legacy. Let's see here. But to be sure, the McCartney Legacy is coming out in volumes, and the most recent one ends at 80, so it's coming along. So this is George Harrison, Behind the Locked Door by Graham Thompson. This is Ringo Starr, Straight Man or Joker by Alan Clayson. Is Ringo the Fourth really the worst solo Beatles album? Ask the chat, because I don't know the solo very well in comparison. Recommend what John books not to read. Hang on. Hang on. Big shake coming. Big shake coming. This one. The Lives of John Lennon by Albert Goldman. Yeah. This one. This is, I mean, you can read it, but it's not like, don't take it as canon, because it's really not. Let's see. Let's see what else. God, I have such an eclectic amount of things. Oh my God. People, I'm losing lots of people, which is fine, but like if they're coming in and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? This is Decoded It is by John Green, the Beatles tarot reader. This is insane. They talk about it in the the historian's book. I like this. I like Ray Connolly because he was interviewing them and writing about them during the time. But these are like, this kind of stuff is fun. Someone's mentioned Keith Badman a couple of times. I like him, or Badman. I like him because it's just a lot of like compiled quotes and stuff. Are we recommending these, or these clowning stills? No, we're recommending. Oh wait, this is more clowning. This is a Peter Brown and Stephen Gaines book, The Love You Make. I would love for you guys to not read that one. Really. So many books that I own that I would not recommend to read. Okay. Yeah. Badman. I like Keith Badman. He has 2 volumes, and he worked with Barry Miles on something as well, that it's like before and after the breakup, and they're good. They're good compilation. I love the David Wigg interviews and just any late era interviews. Me too. Hang on real quick, guys. About a big shake coming again, because I'm going to move that back up. Sorry. Hardcore apology. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I hope nobody got seasick. I put Goldman in the waste paper basket. What are your thoughts on Womack? I like him a lot. Someone messaged me and was like, he grouped him in a weird combo. It was like, I'd like to see your opinions on Womack. Hang on, I gotta look it up. I kind of got in a fight with him earlier on here, so I don't know if he likes me anymore. Let's see here. It's kind of sad because I'm like, you guys are going to fight with me. Like, I'm not going to be, I should be nice, but I'm not nice. I'm just not nice. Okay. So, if you don't respect Mark Lewis, and God knows what you think of Giuliano, Kit O'Toole, and Ken Womack. Okay. Kit O'Toole, no opinion. Giuliano is interesting because he's got interview books that I like that are just, they're like resource books, like an encyclopedia or anything else, where it's just all put together in one place. So I'm okay with some of that, and then also he does another book that has like fan interviews, and they're just like stories from fans, right? But but Giuliano, like, his unauthorized books are absolutely. Did he listen when you provided a reason for not liking Lewisohn, though? If I'm giving this guy credence because of the way that he talked about being my fan, then yeah, he's seen my Lewisohn live video. So he has. But Giuliano's books are fucking insane. Like, what are the band names on Post-its behind you for? The Dark Horse by him was, not so good. Dark Horse by him is, I would not recommend reading that. Be very careful about the weird little George books that you can find. Like the weird little George books, just be careful. George books are bizarre. This is for Live Aid, the Live Aid video that's coming. This is the lineup of the Live Aid show. It was 16 hours and there are 70 bands, and so this all has what time they went on, UK time, who introduced them. This is like, if they're in this one, they're UK. If they're at the US show. So yeah, I like Giuliano's books of Beatles ephemera, especially the Apple stuff. Like, he's very weird because I feel like if he has Shapiro's a really great writer, but Shapiro got some stuff really wrong with Beatle time stuff, like provably so. So I have concerns. I just feel like, and I like Simon Lang. I feel like especially if we're talking about George, because George is really difficult with where he, like, his opinions were very sharp. So if we're reading about George, we need to be reading lots of George stuff, is what I'm saying. In addition to, and Harry does this, so it's not Harry. Like, because Harry does a George podcast with Rubber Soap called the Inner Light Podcast. So you should go follow him. The Inner Light Podcast. Go follow him, go follow it, like it. Anyway. So basically Harry does it, but is there any hope for Carnival of Light being released now? No, not really. I mean, I would 0.002%. Yes, with Rubber Soap. Yes. That's Harry Fitz on Instagram. Lars, random question, but what are your thoughts on Almost Famous? I haven't seen it in since I got sober. So I can't answer that because that was not the real Lars. I would have to rewatch. The Living in the Material World documentary directed by Martin Scorsese is a great resource. I love that. I love that. No, I'm not, as far as I know, going to be on the Inner Light podcast. I was on the Gen X Muse podcast. That's Chris McGovern's podcast. I am on the Beatles Note by Note podcast, but it's not out yet. Let's see. My cousin let me know that you can rent games in your public library. I saw my cousin playing a Switch game he rented there. Public libraries have a lot of things. Yes, public libraries have so much stuff. So many books. Like, I would love to, I find a lot of news stuff. So I really I found some good shit from my library. But I think the real thing, and this sucks because a lot of people don't have the same amount of time, or this sounds stupid, but can read as quickly as I do, or read the same. Am I still here? Am I buffering? Am I still here? Anybody? Somebody said, is the stream buffering for anybody else? Am I here? Anyway, hopefully. Okay, great. I'm still here. So the book is great accompanying material, but the Material World doc, I just went chronologically rather than flip-flopping. Me too. Yeah, I think they went, hey, Willie, I think that they really wanted to tell a story with Material World, and it's very lovely, but it is not chronological. I have an issue with non-chronological things, but that's just me. Walk into the library asking about a Beatles wearing a Beatles shirt, feeling like a cartoon character. There we go. Have you read the Philip Norman book? Which one? Yes. I've read I have read his Paul book, or I almost read all of it before I found out about him. At the very beginning, it was like my first or second Beatle book, I think. My second Beatles book was a Ringo book. I've read a couple of excerpts from the John book. I have read Shout, and I read it because I needed to be ready to talk about everything for my George and Paul video. So any John book recs other than Dakota Days. John books are hard. I think when we're talking about John books, frankly, I think you should read Cynthia's book, and then I also think you should read May's book. But frankly, John books, that's gonna be my least solid space. I like, so May Pang's book is good, and that's called Loving John, and I own that too. I think Ray Connolly's book, I think there are two John books that I like, well. Ray Connolly's book being John Lennon, and I also like and I read a shit ton out of it. Let's see. The Leslie Ann Jones book. Where is it? I can't find it. The Search for John Lennon or whatever. And Pete Shotton's book. Yes, I like Pete Shotton's book. In My Life, John Lennon in My Life by Pete Shotton. I love that book. It's I really like Pete, and it's co-written by Nicholas Schaffner. I like Nicholas Schaffner too because he kind of broke ground on something, putting all of these things together with the Beatles Forever book. But I think Pete is not afraid of, as far like the way that I understand it, I feel like Pete's not afraid of making John look bad. And he says stuff that's like really great about Yoko, and he says stuff that's really not so flattering about Yoko too. And I was just like, wow, look at this person who talks about things with a good amount of spectrum in there, you know? So I liked that. Honestly, the official books that have coincided with the releases, e.g. Imagine and Plastic Ono Band, are well worth looking out for. Never sleep on the official stuff. See, okay, I agree to a degree, but like, because you're a George guy, you love George, and George's stuff is more matter of fact in the way of like with the all things must pass liner notes and stuff. Like that's some really good stuff, right? But the Lennon estate is tough because everything that the Lennon estate puts out is very John and Yoko and very like happy house husband years, very, very pro certain narratives. Okay. So like, I think you got to be careful when I think you should read it because you should read what they want to put out, like, and why that is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying you should believe it. Let's see. So many people have written about John from so many different angles. It's hard to get a handle on him. Yeah. John is either an angel or devil in most book, not in between. Yeah, it's true. Here's a good question that I don't know the answer to. So maybe we've got 60 people in here. Maybe someone knows. Is there a book focusing on his political beliefs? I'm an anarchist and is in developing my personal ideology further. It would be nice to hear John's perspective about stuff. I like, weirdly enough, and we just talked about Ian McDonald, so in a negative light. So I'm not quite sure. The thing about like Ian McDonald's Revolution in the Head, he talks a good amount about politics. Let's see. FYI, May Pang is hard to get. I had to pay $100 on eBay. I got this at a used bookstore about an hour away for $20. So it's not a book, but the US versus John Lennon helped me there. The new documentary focuses heavily on it. The John and Yoko doc. Okay. I have not seen 1-to-1. It didn't come where I live. I guess I could probably find it. Maybe when it's just Sean, he might get even more. He might be even more even-handed. So here's the thing. I mean, fuck it. Like, let's just ruin my career. No. Okay. Where is it streaming? Where's 1-to-1 streaming? Is it on Disney? Sean, like, there was a I don't know who Giggins is, but Giggins just posted on Instagram that he believes Carnival of Light is going to be on A4. I have no reason to believe that's true. But interesting. If you can rent it digitally, Giggins is great. It seemed to John, I have no idea who this person is. It seemed to John changed his political and religion more often than his underwear. You couldn't keep up. Yeah, like be careful with John too, because like he was searching for stuff his entire like life. And there was a point where he got in with oh my God, Billy Graham. So like he was like wearing a cross for a little bit. He's tough. But yeah, he's tough. I'm gonna have to put so much of my books back together. To be fair, John seemed to rarely change his underwear or wash his hair. Oh my God, Paul's hair in Get Back, when he's talking about the long and winding road and he's going back like this, his hair basically sticks up like gel. Let's see, crazy crossover moment. I don't know. My old university lecturer, John Stewart, made a book called Lennon, Dylan, and Marx, comparing their ethos and ideologies. It's fairly well written, but definitely opinionated. Ooh, okay. Okay, 1-to-1 is available to rent. Okay, I'll watch it. They conditioned, didn't shampoo. I saw this one meme that was like a picture of John and Yoko one of the days that they had washed their hair. And so they were like really poofy, and it was like, I can fix them. I can fix them. I can fix them with a hair mask. It was like, for real. John's politics evolved a lot over the years. Oh my God, Venus. Hello. Hi, Venus. I'm an asshole in public too, and in private, actually. John's hair starting to split into parts. Sir, I know how long it takes for that to happen. No, in the Nancy chat, I'm not sure if we got there, like if it actually made it in, but the John hair where it's like this, like weird during like India. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's not a good look. It's not a good look. It doesn't look like a bump. John's hair starting to split into parts. Yeah, Odessa, you are cracking me up. Oh my God. No, but like I feel bad because I wish I knew. I know the very Come Together by John Wiener is about John's politics from 1960s to 80s. Okay, there we go. Like I think let's see here. We've all had our depression hair weeks. No shit, no same. Oh my God. I'm trying to think of like the worst hair I've ever had in a video. There's a couple. There was like in my earliest videos, it's like Lars wasn't brushing their hair, I guess. That was just not on the radar, I guess. You're good, Angel. You can go be an adult now. Everybody's being nice, I think. Everybody stay nice without Angel. I don't have anybody to kick you guys off. Let's see. Let me see what messed up hair I've had. Now I gotta look. Well, the fucking George and Paul video, I had the things that like went bad. That was a wreck. I don't know. We've all had really bad hair days, I gotta say. But yeah, before, let's see. No, it was pretty bad in my earliest videos. In the yeah, because I just like I was trying some things out. I was making mistakes. I was growing. I actually don't shower as a protest, I swear. No, same. John's chops in the Hey Bulldog video are glorious. I agree. I like it. No, I like it. But yeah, no, I don't know. Worst hair was mid-70s long hair wizard type. Mutton chops are so my gender, I swear. You know, I fucking love that. I love that. No, one time someone messaged me with a detailed, like detailed take on all of Paul's Beatle cut and when it was the best and when something bad happened. He was like, it was crazy. It was like, oh, hey, Condor. Oh, Condor 666. Fuck yeah, I love that. So I'm a newer subscriber. Like he spent so much time talking to me about the mop top. It was like, and it was all voice memos. It was really crazy. Like I was like, I don't know what to do about this. And by the way, this was before I had like 500 subscribers. So I was very overwhelmed, but it was like 1962, something happened. And then he was like, it was perfect. It was perfect in December 1963. And it was really great during Ed Sullivan, but by March 1964, something happened. I was like, oh my God, something happened. I was just like totally blown away. But no, I have a hard time picking. He died. Yeah, no shit. He's dead. He's died so many times. No, like, I have a hard time being like, oh, this was their best look. This was their best look. Though I have to say with George, I love the long hair. I love the long hair and the beard, especially. But I'll take George with a mustache. I like George with a mustache. I like it when all four boys, yeah, in March, March 1964, he showered. It's fluffy. Paul showered twice in 64. I was so proud of him. George looked amazing in Anthology. There was, oh my God. Okay. So no, we can't talk about that. Never mind. George's worst look, Beatle for Sale cover shoot. Really, truly agree. Really, truly agree. The Beatles as someone who loves and adores Beatles for Sale, I'm like, nobody wanted to smooth it down, like just judge it, like do something over here, anything over there, fix it. Yeah, I liked George 1971 because he looked as grumpy as he was. He was like, I'm showers of sad weirdness. I'm gonna let my hair do the same thing. It was like, I am a weeping willow, physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. I liked Paul's hairstyle from the beginnings of the 80s and 90s from the Press Play album. I don't know Paul like the exact years, but I have to say like the early 2000s, when he was with Heather Mills, his hair bothers me on like an emotional level. I hate it so much when it's like really short. I just can't. I came around on mullet Paul, but it took a minute. It took like 2 years. I like George in a perm. I like George in a perm. Bald Ringo is sad. George gives me so much gender envy. Same. I hate when Paul has short hair, except for when he cut it with Linda. Yeah, me too. No, and another thing that I saw, and it was an opinion piece. So or at least it seemed like an opinion piece. I didn't see anything specifically from Linda, but that Linda's mullet actually came from breastfeeding, because when you're breastfeeding, if you guys don't know, like all kinds of weird shit happens, including new hair growth. So like she had like, and just left it, because what the fuck else are you going to do? And honestly, peak Linda, it took me a minute to come around on that though. I was not into it. I like a lot of George's 80 looks, but it took me a while to get there because I have parent trauma. I was like, oh, I hate my dad. I love the perm. I love him in Cracker Box Palace. Love it so much. Favorite Billy Shears haircut. Oh Jesus. 20-year can. Favorite Billy Shears haircut. Oh geez. It would have to be Mick Beardy. Wilbury George would have looked cooler if Bob Dylan wasn't so fucking cool. Oh my God. No, Wilbury George was interesting looking. I tend to go in and out on George. Either I'm really into him, I'm like, that sure is a guy. No, Odessa, George and I get in a big fight a lot. Like George and I fight all the time. I fight with George more than I fight with the other Beatles. And John and I also fight a lot. I am very empathetic toward Paul while I essentially have nonstop ick toward Paul McCartney. And Ringo and I understand each other in a sad alcoholic way. Let's see. I love your crash out stories on your Instagram. I hate them. Next slide, like, never mind, he's hot. Okay, let's be clear. When I say never mind, he's hot, I don't think I've ever actually called him hot. Because I'm not really sexually attracted to the Beatles. And this is the reason why the last live is unlisted. You can't go back. Like, you can't watch it, because people were asking me about this and I was extremely uncomfortable. I don't have that like gene of wanting to fuck the Beatles. I just don't have it. And especially now, the more I've learned about them, the less attractive they are. I've learned too much about them. I did some slight paraphrasing, my bad. No, it's more like I'll be like, I fucking hate George. And then I'll be like, he's a little baby. I love him so much. Yeah, that's mostly how it is. Now, I will say, Willie Simpson is saying something here. George Martin was hot, and I agree with that. It's very rare that I'll be like, oh, I fucked that guy, like because I'm very much more attracted to women. Can we talk about the White Album hair? George was it. Yeah. George looked really great during White Album. I have the gene about the Beatles where you put two dolls together and squish their faces. Long-haired Yoko or short-haired Yoko? So short-haired Yoko's tough because that's after she cut her hair and it was like a big part of like grieving and mourning John. So now that I fucking knew that, makes me sad, but I think she rocks the short hair and I love her long hair too. But if we're talking long hair, May Pang's long hair. May Pang's long hair is insane. Really great. Just straight perfect 70s hair. Perfect 70s hair. I only liked John's hair during the Imagine era. In the Double Fantasy era, I just love how put together he looked. I liked how he looked in Double Fantasy era too. There's also the buzz cut. Now, I like the buzz cut on Yoko, and I like the weird fluffy grow out on both of them. I thought that they looked so adorably weird. Like John and Yoko, I have all kinds of feelings about them, but I'm like, somebody gonna match my freak? Somebody gonna match my freak? They're weird, and they're weird together. They're weird together. The Beatles are tiny boogs. Yes, they are. George Martin could get it. Correct. GM is daddy. GM is daddy. I'm with all of you guys. George Martin, I'm so sorry. I hope Giles Martin never finds out that I exist. So there was a question, Stu and Pete. So here's the thing. Like, I'm really generally not attracted to guys. So like Pete, everybody says that Pete was like the hottest, especially back then. So like, and I'm like, okay. I think Stu is attractive to a degree because I mean, I just see like model-esque features. So I don't know. Like, but I think like Stu doesn't look like he fits in the Beatles. Yeah, Willie Simpson just said it. His good looks would have been so odd because the Beatles are good looking in weird ways. I live 4 miles from the train station where Richie Edwards was allegedly after his disappearance, and I live 22 miles from the bridge he left his car, but that appearance, I don't know what this is about. Concert for Bangladesh is a great look for George. I think it's hard because I like how he looked. I like how he looked during Dark Horse, like his vibe. But I'm like, can you please eat? Please stop snorting Coke. You can eat more than Coke. I promise. Harry can weigh in on that. Let's see. Okay, Richie Edwards. Okay, see, I don't know stuff. Hang on. Let me look at something. I have not pre-ordered the anthology book. I should, but that costs money. Let's see. Is there where's the link to it? Is it already, because I know somebody saw it already. If somebody that follows me on Instagram has that link, please send it to me. Favorite Linda haircut? I really like Linda's like just leave it straight haircut, you know, which she had several times in her years. So like that was in the 68, 69, and then she had it like again quite a bit in the 80s. We need to talk about Glenn John's looks and get back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Seriously amazing. Let's see. Have you seen the leaks of the new anthology set? I can send them over to you. Yes, Harry, please send them to me. Walls and Bridges, Bob Croon era. John with curly hair is a great look. I like John with curly hair. Do you think we are getting Carnival of Light? No, I do not think that we're getting it. 67 to 69, Linda swoon. Seriously. I can't believe people called her a dog. They were like a dog with wings or something. One note on the anthology, it's sort of a bummer they didn't have more voices speak. Let throw a bone to Pete and let him speak in episode 1, Yoko in the last episode, etc. Wouldn't it be crazy if Pete had interviews in it? Thank you, Harry. Okay, so this is from You're Good Slasher Films. I'll follow you back. So to summarize, this is from Leaks, okay? 12 LP/8 CD anthology box set announced this week, likely Wednesday or Thursday, released November 21st. A1 to A3 will be the same track list as the original. A4 is partly new stuff, partly previous release stuff from the SDEs. No Carnival of Light. People got upset over the fact she didn't shave her legs. She was like, "What, you mean I'm natural?" I thought she was so real for that. I loved that quote. She's so real. I don't shave my legs. Shocking. But I'm a redhead and you can't really see any of my I dye my eyebrows. It's all blonde. I do wonder how the Beatles kept pulling all those hot women. I think because they're funny. For me, Rain Era is a peak Beatles look. You know what? I kind of agree with that. I really like the bird pictures, Ringo's hair. Odessa. Let's see. Odessa Hours, the die. Let's see. Who's dying? Wait, no, Odessing what? Can we discuss early 80s, 90s Paul? I really have a hardcore issue with when Paul was dyeing his hair for so long. It looked awful. Why? Like, specifically, it looked like box dye. It was like, and he was like, I'm picking the youngest person brown hair color. It looked so bad. Kind of ugly box design, but I like to throw the Anthology 4 cover as it mimics the special features DVD. Mullet Paul is traumatic. Who do you think is the funniest? Ringo. No, I don't know. Like, they're all funny together. They're very funny together. But where he when they're sitting there and Get Back and it's just Paul, Ringo, and John, with people around them or whatever. But he's like, it all started with Rosie. I just love that. I just love that so much. Would you rather get the Anthology box or Rubber Soul Super Deluxe? I would rather have the Anthology box. When Ringo walks in one morning and Paul's like at the piano and he goes, I can't lie, I'm not too good. I was like, oh, he's so real. He's so real. Somebody said when I was like, I understand Ringo on he probably did get box dye. You are so right, VT. Where Ringo and I are just like nodding at each other. We totally understand each other. Like Ringo, it's like, I can't lie, I'm not too good. He's so funny. Or where he's like, I know it looks like, I know it sounds like a full orchestra, but it's actually just one person drumming, one person on vocals, and one person, I just thought it was so funny. I think that they're all extremely funny and they're so good with each other, like immediate quips. And sometimes you hear Ringo say stuff that sounds really weird and aloof. And I'm like, oh, he was making a joke that was supposed to be with the other three. Like, that would have worked with the other three, but it doesn't make sense now. He just sounds fucking weird. I think Anthology 4 has so much scope to be more interesting than Rubber Soul, depending on what we receive. Like, Rubber Soul is very good. And I don't know. I just am much more interested in Anthology right now. Talking to Lindsay Hogg is like, we've just been in a bad mood for 18 months is insane. Yeah. Let's not leave out George. I would never leave out George. George is my favorite Whiplash. I love and hate you, baby. George is like, the Queen's a millionaire. Like, most of the money goes to Her Majesty, and he's like, she's a millionaire. I need a translation for that weird little language those guys were speaking during Get Back. They really, really, really do have a Beatlese, is what I call it. They should put the Anthology documentary on some streaming platform. The doco turned me into a fan. I need it to be on Disney Plus. Do we know that? Do we know if it's going to be on Disney Plus? Does anybody know that? Neuron to neuron activation. Like, when people kept asking Zach Starkey, like, if the boys were going to do a reunion, and this was years ago, like a couple years ago, but he was like, we don't have what you're asking for. Like we didn't have it, so we didn't all live together. We're all like kids on like puffs and stuff like that. It was very funny. Hang on. Somebody said, where can you watch the Anthology documentary? Yeah. Do you see what Odessa said? Go to archive.org. Archive.org. And then you're going to search the Beatles Anthology. And then you're going to select, when you get results, you're going to select movies. And you're going to select it again. Now, in order to make things easy for yourself, this is how you're going to do this. Archive.org. Search the Beatles Anthology. Hit movies. You're going to go episode 1. And then you are going to click on that thing and you can download it. And you're going to do that for every single one of them. Will you get one with a weird language / subtitle / yeah, you probably will, at least if you're Lars. And that is what you're going to do. Also, the Anthology director's cut, Willie Simpson is saying, I'm pretty sure that the Anthology like director's cut, or like a US version, it's like the 5-hour version. Pretty sure that was available on Tubi. I'm not sure if it still is. How do you sleep with your arms and legs still attached to George in a 1964-65 interview? Oh my God. It will be on streaming. Okay. Streaming now for Disney, also in a link. Thank God. I saw an article that could have been fake that said something like Paul was the heart, John was the spirit, George was the soul, and Ringo was the drummer. That was a quote attributed to George Martin, but I've heard that maybe it was fake. That's so much safer. Ooh, when I first got into the Beatles, I watched Let It Be on a certain 18 plus website. Shit was rough. Oh, Harry, you were going through it. Oh my God. Ugh. Ugh. Can you imagine? Why did George Martin just not like Ringo? I don't think he disliked Ringo. I think, like, I don't know. Tell me the vibe on that? Like, the quote. I don't know if that GM quote is real or not, but I agree with Garrett. Sorry, I was totally out of it when I was thinking about something else. But I think that it wasn't a dig. I think that it was like, and he was the drummer. Like, I don't know, because a lot of times, like, I think Ringo got a lot of imposter syndrome. And so it's like Ringo was the drummer. Like, I don't think if that's what he said, then it's not, I think it's more misunderstood than an insult. But, I don't know. Let's see here. I think George Martin didn't trust Ringo after Pete Best. I don't know about that. Did I ever mention I live near Shea Stadium? No, you didn't mention that. I only went to the Mets games, but I wish I was around earlier to see the Beatles there. Ringo saying he thought they didn't like him at the beginning. Ringo is so sad. Like, Ringo, he said it took him like 2 years to feel like he was actually a part of the group, but he really, really is. And the fact is that they really loved him and love him. Yeah, a lot of times tonality can't translate to a quote. There's a difference between being the drummer and the drummer. Hey, JFK. I think, like, it's one of those things where I'm digging my love right now. Hell yeah. I think, like, it's one of those things where when we see certain quotes, it's like, oh, we don't speak Beatlese, so the way we're interpreting it is different. And I think a lot of that happens with Ringo, like specifically Ringo. It's really hard. They love Ringo so much. Like, I think that they love Ringo more than they love the other ones at a lot of the times. Yeah, I know. The aspect from his tonsils operation in '64, Ringo really thought he was being replaced for Nichols. I mean, and the fact that they took his suit like crazy. Looking back, George Martin was surprisingly open-minded working with them, considering his very formal music training. Someone else may have been too stodgy and set in his ways. And he was so smart, He just had like a weird patience for those dumbasses. I'm balloting my Sir Frankie Crisp. Oh my God. The Jimmy Nickel photo at the airport is haunting. Jimmy just, good for him for he really did put up with Beatlemania for a couple of days. That had to be hard. But he was not a Beatle. It was the Beatles with Jimmy Nickel. It was John, Paul, and George with Jimmy. Yeah, imagine being a Beatle for a week and then just being normal after. No, I would hate that. Like, there's a reason why May Pang was pissed off at John when he kissed her and that became a photo, like, publicly. She did not want people to know that they were together. She was like, dude, what the fuck? Because it is not easy to be known like that, especially for the girls. What's the deal with the Beatles album cover? Why was my boy down there? Somebody let my boy up. Why was my boy down there? The May Pang book broke me. They had to make it fit. Yeah, it's just a weird thing. Yeah, the one where they're sitting, she was so normal. Like, she was just yeah, because drummers sit down. I'm a drummer, I can say that. No, it's just like shit. May was just like, I don't want this. Like, good God, do not. Yeah, no, it's very understandable for May, but she's like, fucking hell. I mean, I think, it must have been dangerous to be a Beatle, followed shortly by the real question is, can I type? Oh my God, no, for real. Dude, just like Lars lore, when I get really excited, it's all caps and so many typos. And because I started finding it extremely funny, I don't correct my typos and they get insane. And I'm just like, if you're going to be one of my friends, you're going to get like 12 texts in a row. It's all going to be insane and half comprehensive. I've never been upset about double texting. You're just going to have to deal with me. Like, if you look at my text with my partner, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's not my fault that he turned the chat green. Oh, we look like, see, look at that shit. Look at that shit. What the fuck? That is not indicative of our relationship. That is just me. That's me. Like, just me. And then, yeah. like, it's so stupid. There's this photo of them where they're all like together. Bye, Anya. And they have Ringo, and he's like, you guys know what I'm talking about? And he looks so weird because he's like right in front of them. It's just so weird. It's so weird. Looking at Ringo's insane drumming, he must have had the athleticism of an Olympian. Damn. Yeah, I can't imagine. Ringo said in a sort of recent interview that he never practices drumming. He thought he tried it once, but thought it was boring. And yeah, no, seriously, I have things to say. Yeah, shut up, Angel. I know it's like, yeah, Angel, poor Angel. It's like, and then he gets back to me, but he always gets back to me in like a really long voice memo. But it's like me, like, and then I'm like, sorry, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Fun fact, the Beatles originally wanted the With the Beatles cover to have no text, just black edge to edge with the photo in the middle. The record company refused the idea. Boo, that would have been cool. They always made interesting ideas, like always had interesting concepts, Anyway, I don't know. You guys, we've been going for 3 hours. I think I'm going to hop off here. I did not expect or plan to go this long. Jesus Christ. But, that's me. But yeah, okay. We speculated, we talked, we did a lot of book talking, we did VHS talking. I did not get my eyeliner on, so that's good. So you taking down another person's memos, Land? Huh? I have the memos for the next one. It's good. It's actually pretty good. Okay. All right, guys. Love you guys so much. Thanks for modding, Angel. Love you. And I will see you guys next time. These are so weird because when you end it, you're still talking until it finally pops up. All right. I love you guys. Bye.